What up? I'm Van Lathan. I'm here to hold Bootleg Kev accountable. Check me out on the Bootleg Kev podcast. We had a great time. You're not going to want to miss it.
Hey, about to get into a new interview. Want to shout out to our sponsor, Imperial. They're giving you a free, that's right, free 2-gram top shelf pre-roll with the glass tip. That's right, delivered right to your door, all right? It's free. All you got to do is pay shipping. Use the promo code BOOTLEG at imperialextraction.com. There's a 1.5 grams of premium flour plus a half a gram of THCA diamonds loaded up in this thing. And guess what? You could get one for free with the promo code BOOTLEG. Go to imperialextraction.com. It's free. You just pay shipping. Let's get into the interview.
Is this? Where would I have heard a Yeet song?
Where would you have heard a Yeet song? Mm-hmm. I think just like online without knowing it. Like if someone used it, because he did the Minion song.
What Minion song? Oh, from
the movie.
For the Rise of Gru or whatever?
And it was a big, on like TikTok and Reels.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Van Lathan is here on the Bootleg Kev podcast.
Right.
Welcome.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Chilling, bro. The only thing I'm here to talk about is Dua Lipa.
Well, I don't know much about her outside of, I think she's from the same place Action Bronson's from.
They're from Albania.
Albania, yep.
You never heard Dance the Night from the Barbie soundtrack?
Maybe. I watched the movie.
Lately, I've been doing...
I watched the movie. Yes. You
don't like that?
I heard that song. I don't know if I've really like applied myself to when it was on to like really know. It's just background noise.
You feel you too masculine for that.
No,
it's
not even that.
You're the type of guy that's like, you feel like there's not a part of you, and now post Cat Williams, nobody will be able to do it. But you feel like you can't let go and tap into a different side of yourself that means something about you.
I have plenty musical sides of myself.
Like, tell me, like, what's?
I have a Garth Brooks shirt on right now.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about though. That's just a racist side of you. Actually, he's not a racist. I shouldn't say that about Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks is actually cool as.
And he's like, I think he's like a pretty progressive dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like Garth Brooks is one of the
genre.
He's one of the good ones. Callin' Baton Rouge. I like that song. I also liked when he flipped it up and went with Chris Gaines for a little while.
He was emo.
He was emo.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't get that. I mean, at the time I was like a little kid, so I was just like, I don't know what's going on here, you know?
So you didn't like that. So are you one of the white boys that you go extra hardcore to make up for the fact that some people might like not want to let you in? You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, I'm just me, man.
Just you?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite rapper?
Ever?
Yeah.
So I have two answers to that question. My favorite MC of all time is Nas.
Okay.
My favorite rapper is Nas. My favorite artist in terms of just like discography, Kendrick's creeping up in there, but it's Kanye.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So it's like Nas. And then like, I just have a real serious place in my heart for Outkast too. So I would say those would be like the three, but Nas is like my favorite rapper.
Nas is, to me, the most, you know how people say the greatest rapper of all time? Nas is the most anointed rapper of all time.
I mean, I see the perspective of people thinking that like sometimes he's just like, he just gets it because he's Nas. Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, like between Illmatic, it was written, I Am. I loved I Am. A lot of people didn't like it. I just don't know like who's writing records like Rewind. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's my thing. It's like there are certain people in all of this. When we have conversations about who the greatest rappers are, who the greatest MCs are.
Because your favorite album of all time is 400 Degrees, right?
Yeah. But when we're having conversations about that, I think we have them too broadly.
For sure. I always say just my favorite.
Right.
I think that there's like the list, which to me, like the only guy who should be number one that like nobody could argue with is Jay-Z. Now, there's an
but you can argue though.
I think Drake's, and again, I don't think Drake's number one, but I have to give it to him.
So when you say Drake or Jay-Z, like what's the metric there?
I just think that like we're getting to a point in time where if you're probably like 25, 26, I think that the way you've lived your life and consumed music, Drake probably has to be the undisputed GOAT because nobody was like a lot, like these people weren't alive. Like I went to the warehouse when I was like 12 or 13 and bought Blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I remember buying Ghetto Fabulous and Blueprint on September 11th, like the same day the towers hit. So I think that like there's a whole generation of people who like there really is only like one answer that's like unarguable, and that's Drake, right? To me, I think Kendrick is. I put Kendrick over Drake.
I think sometimes people confuse, and this is in a lot of things. And like I said, they're different subgenres. When I say Nas is the most anointed rapper of all time, there are certain rappers to me that exist that I feel like they're touched by something ethereal and spiritual, just artists across the landscape of music to say something to people. I feel like Nas is one of those guys. I feel like Jay Electronica is one of those guys.
Shout out to Jay Elect, man.
I feel like you have guys out there, and these guys, they would never be on the level of some of the other people because they have something that they have to say. It doesn't mean that they're perfect people. It doesn't mean that they don't get things wrong. It doesn't mean that they need to grow. It just means that the greatness of their music is being funneled through this ethos that's so uncommon that a lot of people aren't going to even try to do it. When you're talking about like Drake, that's like Avatar 2, The Way of Water. And what I say about that,
That's what I always say. Drake is like the Transformers.
well, yeah, I'm saying
You know what I mean? It's
when
like-
you go to see
or Avengers.
right,
Right.
Avengers Endgame. But I actually said that because Avatar 2 went past Avengers, but maybe it didn't. But look, when you go to see Avatar 2 and you sit down, you're gonna be like, God damn, this is impressive.
You're gonna enjoy it.
You're gonna enjoy it, and you're gonna be like, this is super duper impressive. The visuals are crazy. The story, which is the meat of it, is good enough for you to remember that you are having a good time. You are immersed in something.
It's gonna do numbers. Gonna set
gonna
box
do
office
numbers,
records.
all of that. Drake has always immersed people into who he is.
Right.
He's always given you just enough substance for you to be like, nah, this guy doesn't have anything more.
But not enough, in my opinion.
Not enough, but just enough for you to be like, he's giving you enough emotion. He's giving you enough connection, but he's never really tackled any really important issues.
Dude, this is what I say. I say this on every platform imaginable. I've been saying this for ever. I just don't know how he feels about the world. Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea about like what it was like growing up to be like a biracial kid whose mom was Jewish. I don't know what it's like. Like what? Like he has
was
no.
fine.
He has no political. He has no political. Like he has no political
It's
stance.
not even about politics. Let me
It's
tell
not even about politics. What's like in the world? Like
Right.
any sort of like little bit of consciousness, little bit of just state of events happening, little opinion. He's like he don't want to have an opinion because it's like the Michael Jordan thing. I feel like
Republicans buy sneakers.
Sneakers.
Let me tell you something about when I knew that Drake was kind of where he was, and fantastic artist, makes great music, but this is what I was gonna say.
and an incredible rapper,
Incredible rapper.
best song maker ever, maybe.
Like incredible rapper. Like doesn't have too many bad songs. It's literally
Yes,
hitting,
it's hard to have a Drake bad song.
96%
Right.
from the field. Here's the thing. In the wake of the Drake Pusha T situation, that was an opportunity not just for Drake to get to the pure essence of hip hop, right? Because he's already done that. For people to say that Drake has never answered a diss, that's not true. He's answered disses all the time.
He temporarily halted Meek Mill's career.
Right. But there was an opportunity there, and maybe he was going to do it or whatever, for us to get an understanding of how difficult the Adonis situation or the entire thing with his baby's mom was for him.
Yeah.
Because like that's a real
Relatable situation.
Relatable situation. When I say Adonis situation, I don't mean to say the Adonis situation because he loves his son and
Of
he's
course.
obviously a
He's a
very
great father,
devoted
yeah.
father. He's a great father. But to be in a situation with someone that you weren't particularly attached to and somebody that had kind of been out there in the industry, everybody was having fun, and then to have that and deal with that and to be trying to keep it close to the vest like that and not have people know about what's going on in your family life, and then you just have somebody come out and tell all your business, that's got to be difficult to deal with. And if anything, that was an opportunity to, and he kind of dubbed it as like I wasn't hiding.
He held the L and didn't reply.
But he also didn't give us anything more about what it meant to go through that, like when you're at the height of your career, and
why he didn't want to make it public.
and why he didn't
yeah.
want to do it, and what it even meant for them to get back cool and all of that. So there's a, and it might come from all kinds of things. You know, when we talk about people, we talk about them like we're talking about the NBA or the NFL, but these people are putting their lives in this
For sure.
music. So there might be a trauma response there. There might be a a distance from people to protect yourself that might be there, all kinds of shit. But because of that, the music is always going to be less important than somebody else who gets in there and bleeds on them motherfucking records. Always. And it don't matter what it is. We could be talking about the difference between the Beatles and Van Halen. You know, we could be talking about the difference between Marvin Gaye and Luther Vandross.
It's almost like you said, it's like if Drake is like, we all love Avengers, right? Like Nas is like, you know, No Country for Old Men, maybe.
Yeah, Nas is like No Country, but the best movie in that ilk. So I would say he's like There Will Be Blood. Right. Yeah, Nas is like There Will Be Blood. You can watch it and enjoy it as much as you want. And I've seen There Will Be Blood a bunch of times, but you got to commit. You got to commit to that movie and you got to give it something. It's going to take something from you.
To me, that's why Kendrick, to me, has like, I don't know if we appreciate him enough because he's somehow catapulted in between those
all his
two.
sliders up.
Right? All of them are up. Like he has hit records. He
can rap. He's one of the best rappers.
Yeah, like
the music is important.
I don't know if anybody's a better rapper. To be fair, like I don't know if anyone is a better rapper than Kendrick. I mean, there maybe, you know, like I mean, there's guys like Royce and like, you know, there's guys who are amazing MCs out there, but like Kendrick
Royce is an alien. Royce is not like a, you know, an amazing MC.
Kendrick's like a god level MC.
There's a level of guys. Royce rap better than Kendrick.
I think Kendrick can do things Royce can't do though.
I think
in terms of like wordplay, voice change, I think certain things.
If you are going to talk about
lyrical, just da 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 da, I think Lupe is probably better than everybody.
Lupe is now we gonna get
just go press play on Murals.
Voice thing and
no, I think Lupe. I think if it's MC, I think bar for bar, Lupe might be the greatest.
Another white man sit here to separate us. You did that on purpose.
No.
Lupe and Royce had.
Well, I liked when they had their. I liked when they had their together.
Right, and that's why
IG
you just
Live.
did it. I caught that.
No, I didn't do that on purpose.
I caught that. I used to work at the place that invented that.
I didn't do that on purpose.
I caught that.
So are you telling me that Lupe, if we're just talking about at rapping,
one of the most talented? He's amazing. It's like it's dumb.
Quite possibly the biggest what if ever.
So let me tell you something about Lupe. When people think that rap like isn't art, I had this conversation with my daddy. Rest in peace to my dad, man. My dad was like, "Yeah, man, you know, I like the little songs that y'all be having, and this is what I love about older black people. They have a way of bringing you in, but then reminding you that what you're talking about really ain't shit." So my dad is like, "I like the little rap songs, little."
Yeah, they're little rap. I like those little rap songs
y'all do. Shit, there ain't no confunction.
Right.
You know, there ain't no Parliament Funkadelic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But so I was like, Dad, I can make you right now a fan of rap. I Put You On Game by Lupe Fiasco from The Cool. And the song that's basically talking about this idea of the game and this thing that we have kind of elevated in this street ethos and this ethic that we've taken and made it into something that actually helps to define the fabric, the conversation and the relationships in all of these neighborhoods.
Yep.
That not only does it not serve us, it was given to us to purposefully displace us emotionally and spiritually. And by the end of the song, everybody that worships the game has sold their soul to the devil unwittingly. It is a masterwork.
It's one of his best songs for sure.
Yes, his best song.
It's
his best song. Yeah. Don't go on the Lupe thing.
No, we're not gonna.
Because I'll go.
But see, this is the thing.
Lupe, Royce, Jay Electronica, Nas. In addition to my homeboys from Louisiana, Box Royale, all of those guys, these are the guys that I listen to.
Likewise.
Like all over and over and over again.
Random tidbit.
What? You about to tell me how you know Jay Electronica?
What did you think of the Bad Meets Evil album?
Here's the thing about the Bad Meets Evil album.
Because I was so tired of the girl who I always confuse her name with the porn star's name. It's Skylar Grey, but I always call her, what's the porn star's name? The white chick who was popping like 10 years ago. Her last name, Sasha Grey.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one right there. That's a good one, bro. Sasha, you said Skylar, you threw me.
But Skylar Grey's, I just got to the point where Eminem was just putting her Pink on every record. I'm like, Skylar Grey doesn't belong on a
like
Bad Meets Evil album.
I like Bad Meets Evil, but it's Eminem coded. So M has a very distinct style, and it's his style and the way he does his thing now is pretty heavy handed. So,
but the song you just brought up about Lupe, I would take a single one of those from Drake and be like, okay.
He has some songs that make you think. He has some songs like whenever Drake talks about his mother,
his mom, or he does. I mean, like he's very vulnerable. I feel like when he's talking about relationships and like the
Marvin's Room.
Yeah, I just think that like like you said, like just dive into any sort of fabric of like the world. That'd be nice.
Drake also is like one of the best examples of like light-skinned nigga privilege that's ever existed. Because
I can't speak to such things.
I know you can't. You probably try to in your off time.
I don't.
Because like a lot of Drake has a lot of songs that are very, very, very sensitive, complimentary, uplifting to women.
Yeah.
But also Drake got a lot of hard on these hoes songs. Drake got a lot, like even when Best I Ever Had when Best I Ever Had first came out, the song All the Girls Are Rocking, it's like when you listen to the words of that record, that's not a very heartfelt song.
Well, I think the greats are all hypocrites. Tupac, Nas.
I mean, human beings. So
the pendulum swings both ways. Not everybody is one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So all I'm saying with him though is that like he has a record. He has a reputation of making music for women. He has a reputation.
Yeah, he has that reputation.
Right. He has a reputation of making music for women.
Yeah.
And really, when you think about it, especially here of late, he has as many songs for the women as he does basically. I'm hard on these hoes and I'm Drake.
Yeah.
But look, I'll tell you one thing right now. The run that he's been on for nigga since I was dunking.
It's 08, 09. Like Best Ever Had got worked to radio in 09.
It's not gonna happen again. So,
no, it's a one of one.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen again. So whatever you want to say, put his jersey in the rafters.
No, it's a one of one.
It's not gonna happen again.
So your personal favorite rappers. Like, give me your, like, did you kind of just gave me the
Lupe Fiasco, Nas, that mother, Juvenile,
Juvie,
and Royce, J Electronica.
I wonder, you go, because how old are you? We're about the same age.
43.
Okay, so you're older than me. You're 7 years older than me. When I was a little kid, I was so into No Limit Records.
Yeah, of course.
Ghetto Dope was like an important part of my life.
Yeah.
And
you wanted to beat him.
Well, at the
you wore camouflage.
Yes, I had a.
No, I could, bro. I
had the chain. I didn't have camouflage.
Bro, I could see you.
Well, I was super poor. I didn't have camouflage.
I could see you. I'm from the rough Scrabble areas of Phoenix. I could see you.
Yes, actually.
Right now.
I'll tell you. Hey, wait, dog. Like, Phoenix is crazy.
I'm sure it is. Like, I'm not dissing Phoenix, by the way, because there'll be some nigga named.
No, Phoenix is crazy.
I see right now. That's how
you're thinking of Scottsdale.
That's how this shit gets fucked up, and then all of a sudden I get back to my DMs, and it's a nigga named Cactus T that got problems with me or something like that. I did not
Cactus T. How has there not been a rapper named Cactus T?
Some nigga that named Cactus T. I'm not dissing Phoenix, man. I'm not dissing Phoenix.
I had my No Limit chain though.
I know you did.
And a Wu-Tang chain at the same time.
Bro, you had all the chains. You was hopping from crew to crew, like one of these. I can see you at 14 of the Rosenberg model.
No, it wasn't 14. It was more like sixth grade. It was definitely like I would say sixth grade, fifth, sixth grade. I would have like my folder, and I could tag up the Rough Riders R, the Wu-Tang W.
See what? Like, there's a certain thing for white boys who really love rap.
But it's no, but
I can all see y'all, because then when you get to a certain age, then we can't tell you shit about rap no more. Then you get to a certain.
Nah, I'm not that. No. See,
we get to a certain age, and you can't tell me what Common meant to me in 1995. I drove all the way from Phoenix to Minneapolis to hear him spit.
No, I did see Common in Phoenix, though.
See? I know you did.
Common in the Roots. Electric.
That's a great show. By the way, talking about rappers,
yeah.
Black Thought.
Oh, yeah.
Nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Nuts. Andre 3000.
Oh yeah.
I hope
I
Glasses
got
Malone.
equipment right there.
I hope Glasses Malone hears this. Glasses, Andre 3000 is one of the top 5 rappers of all time.
I think Glasses has some of the worst hip hop takes ever, and him and I argue about them all the time. So
Glasses has. You know what? Y'all let Glasses with y'all. That's the problem. My new thing with Glasses is, and I know it burns him up. That's my guy. One of the most solid people.
No,
ever.
he's the best.
My favorite thing with Glasses is now.
There's his album's up there on tape.
3 words I say to Glasses. Agree to disagree.
Because he doesn't want that.
Nope. That's not what he wants. Glasses will come in there, sit down.
He tried to sit here and say Drake wasn't hip hop, and
that's a stalwart right there.
And he tried to say, well, I got to think about whether or not Kanye is hip hop because he grew up in a middle class home.
Yeah, I mean that's just once again, the Drake isn't hip hop thing. He said 444 isn't a hip hop album,
which is a wild thing to say.
Right. So I mean these are. See, you guys are. This is Glasses 101. I'm talking about the next level.
And then his tweets, he be throwing shit out on Twitter. I'm just like, I ain't even gonna engage today.
He believes it though. One of the smartest guys I've ever talked to.
He does.
And just one of the people that like when you go against him, it'll make you smarter.
No, Glasses is great. No, he's just got some crazy takes.
But yeah, so it's those guys. I'm trying to think who else. Obviously, I love Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people that I listen to a whole hell of a lot, like Lyrics of Fury, Rakim. I love Rakim. It's one of my favorite songs. If you caught me in like 97, I was bumping like the 18th letter crazy.
I was gonna say, the first Rakim album I ever owned was the 18th letter. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of like went back and got like Paid in Full, and I'd go back and kind of just go through like 5 Mike albums in the source and go buy them and catch up,
Things seem the same, and the whole scene is laying. I come in, grain with the unexplained, with the brains, the things change. The awe. He on another level though. He's the Marlon Brando of hip hop.
It was cool meeting Rakim. I think it was like.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See?
No, I'm saying like it was.
See, like you see. This is what I'm talking about.
No, let me tell my story.
No, it's not about let me tell your story. It's about. That moment probably means so much to Kev that when he meets a new black, and this is not the first time.
Why is everything racial?
Because it is.
No, it's not.
You don't want it to be.
What are we talking?
You don't want it to be.
What?
You don't want hip hop to be for black people. You don't think it is.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so then why can't I say you're white?
No, what I was gonna say, I was trying to tell my story.
Look, you're white. I'm black. Look at this. Take a picture of this. This is the from me and Bootleg Kev. But what I'm saying is this. That meant so much to you because he saw you for the first time.
No.
How far did you have to drive?
No, what I was trying to say was
it
was cool when I met Rakim because I met him with like a lot of my homies that are like much older than me, right? Mm-hmm. So like they like were listening to him like when it was Rakim and Eric B.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So for me, like of course Rakim's Rakim, right? But it was just dope to see like kind of like it was like my homies like they're Jay-Z. Just kind of see them and the way they were just like, and I was like excited, but to them it was like everything to meet Rakim. You know what I'm saying?
Are you familiar with the history of Hollywood?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm extremely familiar. I mean, I would say I'm vaguely familiar.
There you go. That's a good answer. I think that we're all vaguely familiar.
I mean,
with
I live
things.
here.
Yeah, here you go. And this is why I say he's the Marlon Brando of rap. All right, this is my explanation for this. So method acting comes in, Marlon Brando and everybody from the Stella Adler School and different all of that stuff, the Strasbourg and all that. Method acting comes in and it changes acting, right? Because there's you guys, old Hollywood, very earnest. Say, blah, 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 all of that stuff. Right. Then you have guys that you have a different school of acting that comes in, which is based in realism, synthesizing the character, taking that character's emotions and then making them real grounded portrayals of people that affect you in a different way. And then everything changes after him, right? Not necessarily the inventor of it, but the single symbol of when everyone started to sound different, right?
Right, like he was kind of the because of him, everyone applied themselves to rapping.
Right. So after Brando, this is Van's opinion because I know there's somebody out there going, bah, bah. After Brando, then the next generation of actors that come in a little bit after that, particularly in the 60s, Jack Nicholson, Hoffman,
right.
All of these guys. And these guys take, like Pacino, De Niro, these guys interpret drama in a different way. To me, Rakim is the bridge between Cool G rapping, the rest of those guys too. But he's the bridge between all of that and just thinking of a massive. I'm just on this. I'm just spitting.
For sure.
Right? And there are other guys that are there too, but when I think about what it changed and how people are different, I'm gonna get on this mother.
No, you think of him. You think of him.
You think of him, and then you think of the sound totally changing, at least for lyricism. There are other guys out there that are in that situation. I'm sure that Ninth Wonder and Sway are like, "Fan, we gonna call you and tell you a different situation," because those are the two most knowledgeable hip hop guys I've ever talked to on the phone.
Sway, I've never. I met Ninth Wonder once in St. Louis at a bar.
Ninth Wonder is a fucking encyclopedia of hip hop.
Nice guy.
Sway is too.
Yeah, Sway for sure is.
The only thing I don't like about Sway, there's one thing I don't like about Sway. Sway too nice, man. Sway is too nice. He's too affable. He's too approachable. He's too conciliatory.
That's a negative?
It's not a negative, but a lot of people talk about all of these people and these powerful people and where they should be. And one of the stalwarts, one of the most important voices, sometimes I just want Sway to comment under the thing and say, "I'm your father. I've been doing this."
Everyone's father.
And I've been doing this.
I agree.
But Sway, he's like legitimately, I'm walking through walking through a hotel, 2014, 2015, stopped. "Hey man, I love what you," this is way pre-Kanye. "Stopped, I love what you do on TMZ and blah, 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 blah." Approachable, give you advice, talk to you. Just a perfect energy. And I just want, I'm here for
a
1-year heel turn from Sway.
I think that's why we love Sway, because he's above all that bullshit.
He is.
He's above like the petty shit. He's above, worrying about what other people are doing.
It's true.
I think like Elliot's been going through that the last 6 months or so. Where
it's tough.
And I for me, like seeing like Elliot's to me like up there with Sway in terms of like shit. I used to get his magazines when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I used to buy every XXL and all the sources and everything. And so I think with Elliot, it's like, I don't know. It's like a mixed bag, I guess, how people feel with him kind of poking at, like a Kai Cenat or, But Sway, I wouldn't want, I just feel like that's why Sway is the GOAT. So it's like, if Sway's the GOAT, it's Sway or Elliot. But Sway's the GOAT on a whole different level in terms for me, because when I think of my childhood and watching MTV, that's where before the internet, I watched Sway interviews on MTV News, But I think that's why we love Sway, because Sway's above just, that's...
Here's the thing about Elliot.
Pocket watching, looking over at other people,
This is what I'll say about Elliot. Elliot knows how I feel about him and what I think about him, and honestly, what B-Dot do and what they mean. They know how important they are. B-Dot is not a guy that lacks in any type of confidence. This is what I would say about Elliot.
Neither, by the way.
Neither.
Lacking any sort of confidence.
Neither. What I say about Elliot, and I hope that this is taken with as much love as how I mean it. Elliot is supposed to remain the example of what we want to be. It will be a gigantic blow to hip-hop and to hip-hop journalism if Elliot Wilson turns into the example of what you don't want to be. And what you want to be.
Like he's the golden standard.
Let me tell you, yeah, exactly. So what you want to be.
I agree.
And in every single different avenue, what you have to have are, like you said, standard setters, monument builders, right? Legends and authorities on stuff.
Yeah.
And when you are that, that's bigger than a crowd that you can pull or the heat that you can deliver. It's bigger because what it maintains is the cultural integrity of whatever you're endeavoring into. Hip hop is a more serious endeavor because guys like Elliot Wilson exist.
Yeah.
Hip hop is a more serious art form because it has serious critics and serious journalists like Elliot Wilson. If he devolves, which it seems like he's dead set trying to, if he devolves into this new school, which I'm not saying I'm not a part of clout chasing media figures, it's not just a blow to Elliot Wilson's legacy.
It's a blow to everything.
it's a blow to all of it. Hip hop becomes less serious if guys like that take themselves less seriously.
Yeah, I look at Elliot and B-Dot as like, you know, I think back to like sitting at my house, I think it was Christmas or New Year's a few years ago, watching the Drake interview, and I'm like, this is the only, like, these guys don't have to put out a bunch of shit because when, like, they can have conversations like that nobody else has the access to have, and or like that's why like when he was kind of mad that Drake was doing whatever Drake was doing, sitting in the bed with that what's that chick's name, the white chick,
Bobby Altoff.
yeah, like it doesn't matter because you got the 3-hour all-time Drake interview and you're gonna get another one because you're fucking Elliot Wilson.
But here's the deal though, there's a way to make that criticism, right? I'll tell you what I mean by that. There's a way to legitimately, I'm not a part of hip hop media. Oh shit, Kev.
Damn, that Velcro came off.
Wow, bro.
Things are broken. Yeah. There it is.
Shit,
Slide
man.
it on.
It's always good to drop a white man on his fucking head. There's your head in there.
There we go.
Boom.
There we go.
That's the fuck I'm talking about. So ecosystems. We talk about ecosystems. What is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is something that cyclical. It feeds itself, right? It's a system of life. So that means that like the fucking plant grows, the fucking insect eats the plant, the fucking animal eats the insect, animal dies, boom, 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 ecosystem. When one part of the ecosystem stops working, the whole ecosystem is threatened, right? It is incumbent upon hip hop artists to do interviews with hip hop media because that feeds the ecosystem. They have to do hip hop media. I'm telling you, if you are a rap artist and you are a big rap artist, you have to do traditional hip hop media.
At some point in time.
No.
Or you think about
at some point
every
in time.
cycle?
You have to do it all the time. And the reason why I think you have to do it all the time is 2 reasons. Number one, cultural responsibility to invest back into that media. By
the way, I don't disagree with you.
And number 2, to feed the ecosystem of hip hop. Because the other part of it, the people that look like Bobby and all of those people, they're gonna eat off hip hop regardless. The question isn't whether or not Bobby Altoff is, or whoever her name is, and no disrespect to her, is gonna eat off hip hop. That's not a question. Her people gonna eat off hip hop because her people own the record companies. Her people playlist the shit.
Right.
They own the big streamers. They gonna eat off hip hop.
By the way, I don't know who her people are, but
well, when I say her people is, I mean white. So her people are gonna eat off hip hop no matter what.
Right.
The question is whether or not the black people, and not just black, but the people in hip hop media, whether they're going to eat off of it. And the only way to really control that is to go sit down with them, right?
I think that unfortunately most artists don't agree with you anymore.
They don't agree. I'll tell you why they don't agree. They don't agree because, this is just a direct criticism, because as hard as they are equally pussy. And I say they equally pussy because everybody want to be hip hop, but don't nobody want to be hip hop. Don't nobody want to sit down and answer questions in the way that hip hop interviewers ask them. Don't nobody want to have somebody. Hip hop is supposed to be this cultural art form where we don't dance around and we get straight to the point.
Straight to the point, yeah.
Straight to the point. We don't play no games. It's no funny shit.
Right.
It's no, blah, 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 blah. It's none of that. It's like, hey, did you do this? How did this go? How did this go? Blah, blah, blah. But because people have seen a lot of people have bad moments on big platforms, now
they're scared to go. Yeah, they don't want to have one of those bad. Yeah,
afraid to be hip hop.
Right.
They're afraid to go sit down and talk in the way that not just hip hop talks, but the way that black people talk,
Right.
the way that we talk when we interviewing each other. Hey man, that's crazy. What the fuck you doing? Hey man, you out of hey sister, boom, boom. They're afraid to have a conversation. So they would rather go sit down with someone that has a big platform that will treat them in a way that's not, to me, culturally authentic, than actually have a culturally authentic and powerful conversation with someone that benefits in the long run them, then that person's platform, which I am not in hip hop media, I'm just telling you my observations, and the entire hip hop ecosystem. So you can't be brave enough to rap about like shooting people on records and all of that stuff, and brave enough to be out in the streets, but not brave enough to go sit down with somebody that's going to ask you real questions.
Well, I think a couple of things. Well, one, like I've heard actual like managers, label people say like, if someone's at a certain level, doing interviews can only hurt them.
Right. Well, this is what I would say. Probably, but I would also say this. There's also another part of that. Another part of that is this. Inside of this ecosystem, I know this very well. I worked at TMZ. Inside this ecosystem, we have to hold interviewers accountable.
I agree.
For asking questions that aren't substantive, that are clout chasey, that are beef inspiring, that are all of that stuff. You have your platform. You can ask people whatever you want to ask them. You can do whatever you want to do. But if we're going to talk about all of these different responsibilities that we have, we also have to talk about the fact that there is a way that you're supposed to conduct an interview when the interview is about music, culture, inspiration, work ethic, when it's about your past, when you really gonna sit down and get a penetrating interview with the artist or with someone. There's a way that you do that, and if you veer off into the clickbaity, clout chasey situation, which a lot of people are doing, we have to be honest about those people too.
Yeah. I think like my approach to interviews really is like, if I'm not fully like, there's people I'll interview who I'm like, I'm familiar with their music, but I might not be like a hardcore fan, right? Yeah. So my whole approach is like trying to figure out who they are, like the common ground between me and this person, so we can shoot the shit and have like a cool conversation. Like I feel like when I think of like Elliot and B-Dot, I know that they're gonna have the laptop with all of the notes, and then this year, and then on this, you know what I mean? And there's certain artists that I'll have those conversations with. But for the most part, you know, it's almost like when I went and I just did a interview with NBA Youngboy, and I was like, okay, everybody who talks to this guy treats him like he's an alien. I'm just gonna like, just go hang out with him and shoot the shit.
What you trying to say about Baton Rouge?
Well, shout out to you. You're from Baton Rouge, right?
What you trying to say about Baton Rouge, bro?
Well, I just feel like, you know, like, I just wanted to like, just talk like, yo, let's just hang out, shoot the shit. Like,
You went to Gravedigger Mountain?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was fucking beautiful.
You loved it.
It was cool.
You loved it. Okay. Okay. You ever heard of this site Point and Shoot on YouTube?
Yeah, he just did a video about me.
I watched it.
Yo, it's so funny because
you mad?
No, I'm not.
You mad at the Point and Shoot?
No,
nigga.
actually,
bro.
I DM'd him and said the video was really good. Good job.
But
can I show you the video?
But that was passive aggressive.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
It was funny.
It was. Let me tell you, bro. Y'all try to. What people don't understand is I've been.
Wait a minute. So you watched that video?
Yeah, I watched it.
So then you know I went to Gravedigger Mountain. So why did you ask me that question if you knew the answer?
Because I'm playing games.
Because you're a troll.
Bobby Digital RZA.
That video is so funny because I did not realize. So I used to live in Vegas. I did radio in Vegas, right? And I used to DJ a monthly hip hop showcase. So there was a guy named High Life who used to throw these showcases, and me and my boy Sam would DJ him. So we would DJ for like maybe 10 to 15 artists every time this would happen. So if you've ever been to like a rap showcase, local rap showcase, one, they're not very busy. Two, they fucking suck to DJ because you're dealing with all these USBs, and back then it was a CD, you know. So I had no idea that I had ever encountered that dude Sharp prior to the time I met him and he came and did my podcast, right? Yeah. So it's just funny that like this guy has this like gotcha moment and is like trying to talk down on me because like I frequented strip clubs in Las Vegas, and
I've been. But this is what I would say.
It was funny though. No, I actually think that dude's just really funny.
What?
I think that dude, like the video was funny.
But you tried to draw him out and get him on your podcast so you can line him up outside. I know what you're trying to do.
No.
Kev, you one of the biggest gangsters. You actually might be Cactus T. You one of the biggest gangsters in Phoenix. You trying to get him. This is what people do. See, y'all think I'm too veteran for this. Hey man, I appreciate that. Good. Boom, boom, boom. I'd love to have you come over here. And then all of a sudden, you and your man over here stomp them out.
Nah.
And that's good for you because now you got a headline.
First
you
of all, I have
children. How many children you got?
I have 2 children, and I
are they old?
I have an 18-year-old and a 10-year-old.
So that changes nothing.
No,
because the 18-year-old would help you stomp out, point, and shoot outside of the motherfucker.
I'm not listening.
If you had babies, that would be one thing. But what you just said was, I got another nigga in the crew that can help me fucking stomp out, point,
I'm
and
not
shoot.
risking any charges.
Boom. There you go.
I'm not risking any felonies.
I get it.
For a video. I actually genuinely thought the video was funny.
It was. I watched all his videos. And I think that, like...
He's actually really good.
There's something to be said that when someone is obviously fucking with you and joking...
I thought it was... Like, all of the stuff he said about me, I genuinely took...
Very talented YouTube.
I thought it was, like, funny. I was like, oh, that's good. Because, like, I have, like... I don't have that big of an ego. I don't really give a fuck. Like the way him and I talk to each other, or me and my friends talk to each other, I'm like, this shit's great.
What YouTubes do you watch? What YouTube channels do you watch?
I mean, I would say most of my YouTube stuff is very sports heavy.
Okay, sports heavy. Okay.
You know, I would say I watch a lot of PFT with like Mike Florio, Chris Sims. I watch, you know, McAfee's in there every once in a while. All the NBA stuff, and then I veered into like there's this political channel called Breaking Points.
Oh, I know that point. Crystal Bell.
Yeah, I like
Crystal Ball.
I love them because I can just watch and
I watch Crystal Ball. I watch Rising as well with Robbie.
Rising is amazing on the Hill.
Robbie Suave.
They're great, dude. They're great. So actually, those two shows I probably watch every day in some capacity. Just clips, you know, like to catch up on what's going on. And I think that it's dope because it seems like all four of the people involved in those two shows are very level-headed, and they give you different perspectives.
So you don't ever go on Welcome to Hood War Stories?
No. I can show you my algorithm if you want to see it.
Now, bro, pause, dog. What the fuck? Did you see that?
I'm saying if you want to see my YouTube.
Did you see what he just did? He said, I can show you my algorithm if you want to see it. And then he reached into his pants, bro.
No, it's sitting on the chair. Look, what's the first video? What's the first video?
Sexual.
What did I tell you?
Whoa, I don't want to see your algorithm, bro. Put your algorithm away.
Hey, we got to stop the interview real quick, man. Shout out to our family at MyBookie. NFL season is winding down. You still got some regular season games you can get in on. Of course, the college bowl games are coming up. So much money to get. Plus, the cash prizes going down in their weekly blackjack tournaments at mybookie.ag. And this is what's going on, right? MyBookie's crazy because they're doing this. If you sign up right now at MyBookie, use the promo code BOOTLEG. All right? Claim your deposit match redeemable up to $1,000. That's right. They're going to match your first deposit up to $1,000 using the promo code BOOTLEG. Claim your bonus. NFL, college bowl games. So much going on in terms of what you're trying to get down with if you want to gamble, if you want to bet. All right, they got blackjack. They got roulette. They got it all. And, of course, the best odds anywhere online when it comes to your sports betting needs. So one more time, sign up right now with that promo code BOOTLEG. And I'm going to tell everybody this. You're going to get your first deposit matched up to $1,000. I'm going to put my money. I'm feeling good about the 49ers future bet right now. Slam the Niners to win the Super Bowl. I think they're taking that whole shit. Bet anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Hey, thank you for watching. Also, shout out to King Palm. Jeez, I'm just swimming in King Palm. But we got to shout out to our good folks at Blue Chew. That's right, BlueChew.com, man. New year. Time to get that dick of yours in order. Maybe you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, stress at work. Maybe you're married, 30 years into the marriage. It's a little hard to get it up for old wifey over there, but you want to, smash her down, take her to Pound Town real quick for the anniversary. What I suggest you do is fuck with some Blue Chew. That's right. Blue Chew, what is it? Does it work? First of all, of course it works. Yes, it does work. I've used it. It's great. With that being said, Blue Chew, it is the same active ingredient as Viagra and Cialis. All right? Trust me. Oh, they hit. All right? In a nice, chewable form. Yeah, and it gets delivered straight to your doorstep. Discreet packaging. You don't got to worry about going to a doctor's appointment, sitting in an office, and speaking with some stranger about the issues with your Johnson. It's all online. All online. If you're asking, well, I don't know, man. This sounds like, I don't know, how much is it? What do we got to do to get it? Look, it's free. That's right, free. You can get your first month of Blue Chew for free right now. All right? Your dick deserves it. Whoever's taking your dick deserves it. Let's be honest. All right? So go to BlueChew.com. Use the promo code BOOTLEG right now. And guess what? Your first month will be delivered for free. All you got to do is pay $5 shipping. BlueChew.com, promo code BOOTLEG. Get your first month for free, delivered right to your doorstep. And thank me later. All right? Let's get back to the interview.
Kev,
it's my YouTube algorithm.
Put your algorithm away. I don't know why you call it the algorithm. Probably because
it's my YouTube algorithm.
Like it. Put your algorithm away, bro. Nigga not trying to see your algorithm.
I see the herd. Okay. I see PFT.
Yeah.
I see.
Welcome to Hood War. So I'll go to Welcome to Hood War.
Fucking Unk and Ocho Cinco. MSNBC. Dan Le Batard.
So I don't have as much other sports stuff. I got a lot of it, right? But it's very specific with me. So it's LSU football.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's LSU football. So it's not necessarily, I have a lot of sports stuff on there, but it's specific because I saw myself sifting through a lot of fucking sports topics I didn't give a fuck about, right? But It's Saints, LSU football, very direct sports stuff, like 5 different LSU football channels off the bench. My favorite one, Power Hour LSU, fucking After Further Review.
There's a show like that for the Suns I watch called
Tiger Bait.
There's this PHNX sports podcast I watch on YouTube. Like at the end of every game, they go live. And
then you sit down and watch it. Kalika can't understand it. She comes in and she goes, yo, why are you just watch the game? Why are you going to sit down and then watch 2 hours of somebody talking about the game that you just watched? And I just pause the TV and I go.
My wife says the same thing.
I just pause the TV and I go, you want to be in this or not? Cool. Boom. Let me watch my shit. Let me watch my shit. Yeah. Let me play the game. Yeah. I come back all the way from fucking working on the road. I'm doing CNN or something like that. I sit down, I got the controller. When I have the controller, okay, Kev, and Spider-Man is swinging, nigga, I am Spider-Man. I'm swinging around New York. I'm helping people. I'm saving people. I'm going on missions. Bro, just last week, no bullshit, I beat Scorpion. I beat Kraven the Hunter. I beat motherfucking Sandman. I beat Venom. Not Spider-Man. Me. I did it. Okay?
You did. Yeah.
I beat all of these people. I saved
Is this Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
I saved New York. I saved it. When I come home, let me play the game.
Do you ever buy video games and you're mad because you don't have time to play them?
Wrong.
That's my life.
No.
I buy all the games and I never play them because I don't have time. My kids got them.
Lie. You could make time to save people if you really cared about it.
Yeah.
But the problem is that you got to listen to Shoreline Mafia and the rest of the underground, which, by the way, I'm not dissing them. I fuck with them hard.
Shout out to OGZ, shout out to Shoreline, Phoenix Flex.
The rest of the underground people, you got to listen to too much hip-hop. See, I don't listen to as much hip-hop as you. I'm going to go to my hip-hop right now. I'm going to go to my Tidal because Jay-Z told me to buy Tidal. And then after I got Tidal and got used to Tidal.
He sold it?
He sold it to white people.
Verizon bought it, right?
Did Verizon buy Tidal?
I think so, yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, but so my shit, like literally the shit that I'm on, like my playlist, it's all old shit, bro.
Yeah, I think mine.
I'm not listening to much of that new shit. So
I agree.
So I've heard these songs. So I don't have to like, but you have to be up on hip hop.
Yeah.
So you don't have time to save New York.
The new shit I love is so I knew who Dave was for a long time, but I never.
Dave who?
From the UK. So Dave and Central C put a EP out called Split Decision, which was my second favorite project from last year. But I dived into this guy Dave and his discography. He's so good.
You like him?
Like
Dave?
Dave is like an elite level rapper.
Where's he from?
He's from the UK.
Nah, I'm not fucking with him.
He's fucking fire.
Yeah, see?
He's got some of the most vulnerable rap songs I've ever heard in my life.
That's Cactus T. That's Cactus T right there. I will tell you one new group that I like. These guys out of New York, they're called 41.
They're fire. Shout out. I've had them on twice. Jen Carter, Kyle Rich.
Bro, Jen Carter is crazy, bro.
No, she's fire. And they're cool as fuck.
Jen Carter is crazy, bro. I'm not supposed to be listening to that shit. PTSD from the sound of the side.
How can I see what I listen to?
So this is what I got on here. I got Dua Lipa. I got Domino. Remember him?
Of course.
Get those jamming about the slam. I got Beanie Siegel. I got
Beans.
Victory, which I guess I'm not supposed to be listening to that now.
Victory.
Puff Daddy.
Oh shit. Shit.
Well, I still listen to that shit. Fuck that. I got Flip Side.
Freeway?
Beanie Siegel. Oh my God, bro. Beanie Siegel, Freeway. That's actually Freeway and PD Crack. So my playlist on here though is, I'll show you my hip hop playlist. This is my hip hop playlist. Running the Far Side, 93 till infinity, Sean Fennessy. 93 until infinity.
Hey, shout out to the ringer, Sean Fennessy.
Yeah, which is the greatest hip hop song ever made.
Disagree.
It was okay. Cactus T.
Hey, I disagree.
Mass Appeal, Electric Relaxation, Spodio.
So this is like a playlist you put together.
Yeah, this is my shit. Shook Ones.
I wish I had I don't have a playlist like that.
Pass Me By.
I just
Big L, Sugar Hill.
I'll just hit search and like whatever I feel like listening to.
I do the same thing.
Boom.
I do that too, but I do have some playlists that I have to have. And then
Spotify has a 2010s playlist that they've curated for me that is fire. It's like all 2010 shit that I like.
Title. Well, Spotify is great. Spotify is.
Shout out to you could go listen to Higher Learning on Spotify exclusively.
Listen to Higher Learning, the podcast on Spotify. Spotify is great. I use Tidal for a lot of music stuff. Spotify is amazing. It's great. I use Tidal for a lot of music stuff though, because Tidal knows me now. I get most of my podcasts from Spotify.
Yeah, my 2010s playlist is gas. But yeah, I mean, and then I'll just download albums. You know,
Like what you download?
I got JID on here, Forever Story, Pray for Paris, Westside Gun.
Westside Gun crazy, whole Griselda crazy. Going back to
Weeknd. Pusha T.
Elliot and B-Dot. I was loving Griselda. I was fucking with Griselda, listening to a lot
They
of
had the
Griselda.
New Year's interview.
And then I became a Griselda fucking fan.
Mm-hmm.
Love Griselda.
Love them.
Love Griselda. But I love everybody. I love the people that don't get along. I love Griselda. I think Freddie is having a great, like Freddie's actually
to me, Freddie's
a homie of mine.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends in the world. So
You and Freddie best friends?
yes,
Okay.
that's my brother for real, for real.
Y'all, you ever been to Sam's Hofbrau?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just making sure.
Chicken wings, and that's the best place to throw money at strippers because not for mean reasons, obviously.
Listen to what you just said. Listen, let me tell you how you're a misogynist.
Yeah, because because when you throw the money at Sam's Hofbrau, it's kind of like feeding birds.
Okay. Wow.
It's true
Okay.
though.
Whoa.
It's true.
Whoa.
Because anybody who's on the
Cactus Tea.
stage has a right to the dollar.
Whoa, Cactus Tea. Let me tell you something. You throw money at strippers.
I throw it in the air.
I throw money to strippers. Because
Here we
accept
fucking go.
them. I accept them and their humanity and what they are. I throw money to them.
So do
to
I.
help. No. You said what you meant. Stand on it, Cactus Tea. What you said was you throw money at strippers, at them. I throw money to strippers.
Sir,
Sometimes I don't throw it. Sometimes I put it in an envelope and hand them to them and say, you're
Out
gonna
of
be
most
something
people
one
in the
day.
world, you will not find another higher connoisseur of these establishments other than myself.
I rarely go, but when
No.
But when I
Listen.
do go, when I say rarely, I mean like once a year. But when I do go, maybe not even that. But when I do go, I throw the money to them, hand it off like a fucking baton, because I want them to live their dreams.
Sir,
Cactus Tea.
I am very, very integrated in the strip club culture, so I'm very, very aware. I'm friends with a lot of strippers.
What's your budget for a strip club night? What's a
So
bootleg Kev
personally,
night?
me,
Yeah, what's a bootleg Kev night?
it depends on where I'm going.
Okay.
So if I was in Arizona in my heyday at like Jaguars, which is like the best strip club on the West Coast.
Jaguars?
Yeah, Jags. Jags is the best strip club on the West Coast. Anybody who's gone will tell you that. All the rappers I take there say the same thing.
Jaguars.
Jags.
Jaguar.
Like Jaguar, yeah.
Jaguar.
So I kind of like, I just kind of like, I want to say like it was kind of like my spot. So I would go in there, I'd get my chicken wings, I'd get my fucking shrimp tacos, I'd get my cabana.
Can I tell you
Tight
something
with the
real
owner.
quick? This is actually a very precious moment. Like, there are rare times when you're talking to someone and you can see the wheels of their brain are taking them back to a time where they've legitimately have good times.
Yes.
To a place where they've legitimately
Ah.
like Kev started talking about Jaguars and he goes,
Yeah. It's a good place.
It's
but it wasn't even like a good place for the reasons that you, not even.
I get it. It was a good place just because there are certain places, even naked women or no naked women, where the ambiance
It's
is
the
right.
ambiance, it's the food,
The
it's
time in your life is right.
time of my life. And like for me, I would rather I'm a like dive bar kind of guy or a strip club kind of guy. Like I'd rather not be at a nightclub. I mean, I own a nightclub in Scottsdale, right? So like shouts to the nightclub game fucking does very well. I'm DJing at nightclubs, but I'm not going to a nightclub unless I'm DJing. So,
Right. It's not your thing anymore.
like I don't want to go hang out at the club because I don't know if it's really ever been my thing, to be honest. I'd rather go to a dive bar or go to a strip club where we could just chill, have a little convo over some fucking drinks, maybe order some food.
So this is my thing about the club. And this is my thing, right? I'm from a different club culture.
Right.
When I was in Louisiana, we dress up, we go to the club. We dress up like we going to church. We go to club upscale, we go to
Yeah, it used to be like that too. Yeah.
Go to club upscale, we go to
They strictly enforce dress code.
strictly enforced dress code, right? We go to there, we go to the nightlife, we go to a Perfect 10 party. Shout out to TJ, Mike, everybody out there that was throwing parties. Shout out to all of them. We go to the parties. And we go there all dressed up. But when we leave that motherfucker, we are dripping wet with sweat.
Yeah.
We
You
are
were
dripping,
dancing, you're enjoying yourself.
Bro,
Yeah.
you know them old movies where you see a juke joint?
Right.
And the people in there and there's beads of sweat coming off their
They got a
face.
sweat rag.
And it's a man, he got his hand on a woman like that and they grinding and all of that stuff.
All
like
that shit's out.
You know, that's what we were doing. We were, like the back that ass up, come on. And like, the whole fucking club lose their
Oh, I couldn't
minds.
even imagine being alive when Back That Ass Up first came out.
But it was a couple of joints that you would just drop
By the way,
and just go crazy. But when
argument might be, that's an argument for best rap song ever.
could be.
Best club song
Definitely
ever.
the most.
Best club song ever.
Could be definitely best club song ever. So like, then you get to LA and they don't have none of that. That's not how the clubs are. The clubs in LA are musical museums.
I think there was probably a time where they were more like that. But
I don't remember it. But like the clubs in LA are musical museums. Like they're music playing and you're looking at pretty pictures all around. I mean, people are turning up a little bit. You might get a shoulder shimmy or something like that. So I fuck with that and that's okay. But if I'm going to do that, I would rather go to a place where I can hear somebody talking over the music.
I agree.
So the music is playing.
Yes.
And we all chilling.
That's my whole point.
We drinking. We having what's your drink of choice?
It's changed over the years. These days, if I'm not trying to lose weight and be fat, I always just get a Corona.
I like a whiskey sour. And so I'll drink one.
Or tequila on the rocks.
Tequila on the rocks. So I'll drink one, right? And if I can hear you talking, we can all have I was at a party last night. And it was for the Black Oscar contenders of this year.
Right.
Shout out to Ava, and I'm going to get like 50 shout outs in this bitch. I don't give a fuck. So like we all having it, and we're just talking and we're dancing. Some people are dancing. That's what I like. I'm older.
Yeah, no, I just think that like you said, like for me, I'd rather go to a bar, or the strip club is just like home to me. I feel like.
What's your favorite movie with an all black cast?
With an all black cast,
And you can't say Friday.
Friday.
Cactus Tea. Fake answer.
How's that a fake answer?
Fake answer alert.
But it's the true answer.
Nope. It's too much. Who's your favorite rapper? Jay-Z? Nah.
I didn't say Jay-Z.
Nope. But what I'm saying is, nope. You can't say Friday. You can't. You gotta go. I'm challenging you to go deeper than that. I'm challenging you to go deeper than Friday.
Would City of God count?
No.
No. Okay.
I mean, you wily motherfucker. You maybe, but not really. Kind of, but no.
Moonlight?
I would say Moonlight. Now you're trying to be woke.
Love Moonlight.
I love it too.
It's fucking a perfect movie.
Great movie.
A perfect movie.
Try to get Charlamagne to watch it.
A perfect movie.
Perfect movie.
I think it's a perfect movie.
La La Land better, but like, yeah.
I can't say I can't watch anything with singing in it.
Oh, you don't like musicals?
No, I can't do it. I can't do it. My wife was telling me. So last night we went and
What's
saw.
her favorite musical?
I don't know. Probably fucking Little Mermaid or some shit. Last night, went to the movies with my family. Her and my other son, that's 10, went and saw Wonka. I went and saw Iron Claw with my 18-year-old.
Yeah, look, shit.
It's a fucking sad movie, dude.
Kev, like you wanted to bond with him. You wanted him to know the meaning of the family, which is why you took him to see that. Because that movie.
Well, no, me and my son are hardcore wrestling fans.
Yeah, as I am. I'm the number one voice in wrestling media.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's new.
I'm the number one voice in wrestling media.
That's not true.
Go to my Twitter.
Are you trolling Rosenberg?
Go to my Twitter.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, I'm the number one voice in wrestling
I don't think
media.
I'm hip to why you're saying that. So is it like when Andrew Scholl said he was the number one voice in MMA media and was trolling the other guy with the glasses?
I don't know what you're talking about
Okay.
as far as that's controlled.
Well, yo, I didn't know that.
Like,
Well, congrats. I'll see
I'm
you at
not-
Royal Rumble in a couple weeks.
I am, and it's been discussed. This is not me just saying this. I've been put
Is it
over.
'cause- dude-
I've been put over.
Who put you over?
A couple different people. You don't need
Kazim
to know
or-
that. I've been put over.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you watch wrestling though? Serious question.
I am over as fuck.
Do you actually watch though? No, you don't.
Of course I watch wrestling.
Oh,
Okay? Of course I watch wrestling. Did you watch Raw last night?
I haven't. I was at the movies.
Well, see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about white people. You're asking me if I watch wrestling. Last night, what was I doing? Watching fucking Raw.
I was watching Iron- but I was
CM
watching-
Punk, and then you're gonna
I was
come
watching
back,
Iron Claw.
and you're gonna come back and you're
I
gonna
saw
say
Iron-
you didn't even watch Raw last
I
night.
watched Iron Claw.
You didn't even watch it.
About the Von Erichs. I watched Iron Claw.
About the Von Erichs. Yeah. What's your favorite match from Jimmy Superfly Snuka?
See,
To what? You didn't answer it because you don't know wrestling like I know wrestling.
that's before my time.
That's true.
But
I was just joking.
I want to say, was it? No, it wasn't Jimmy. Was Jimmy Superfly's? I'm trying to think. What was WrestleMania? Was it 2 or 3 where fucking Macho Man? I don't think that was against Jimmy Superfly.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. All jokes aside, I'm not good at recounting like individual matches that I love. I have individual matches that I love.
There are,
but to me,
so for me, there are certain matches that I do love.
there's certain matches that I love too.
That I
But to
can call out, but,
it's
like-
more storylines. It's more specific moments. It's heel turns.
Like my
it's
favorite
unexpected
wrestler of the
things,
last
run-ins.
10 years, but this is before he passed. Everyone knew this, but I love Bray.
You love who?
Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was my
wow,
guy,
that
dude.
was sad.
Dude, he was my guy.
For some reason, I thought you said Ray, and then I'm
No,
like,
Bray
he didn't
Wyatt.
pass. Yeah.
No, Bray.
Yeah.
Bray was that fucking dude. I felt like he was so mismanaged, and he should have been the guy to beat fucking Undertaker, not Brock.
The other thing that is tough about being the number one voice of pro wrestling and being such a wrestling fan is it's such a hard life on the guys, man, and the ladies. So it's going to be a lot of tragedy if you are a huge wrestling fan. Because
Did you watch Iron Claw?
I did.
Watching that movie, you're like, damn, like wrestling literally like destroyed.
That's some different shit. I won't. Shout out to Kevin Von Erich, and like at the end of the Iron Claw, not to
See a picture of his family.
See a picture of his family.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been happier for him.
Me too, man. Because the whole movie, you just feel for him.
Yeah, I do not want anyone to think. It's not too far off though. I was gonna say that the Von Erich family represents the typical wrestling family's trajectory, but I mean, there's a lot of carnage and a lot of tragedy. But that is, man,
Next level.
God bless Kevin Von Erich. That is
Next level, dude.
Bro, that's insane. And look, I've seen this before. I know in my own life right now, you know, all my dad and all his brothers passed away. My father, like literally in the last 15 years, we lost all of those guys.
Damn.
Right? So my Uncle Mark died, then my dad died, then my Uncle Milton died. Excuse me, my Uncle Mark died, my Uncle Milton died, my dad died, my Uncle Ray died. Nobody touched 70, right? So the movie hit me in a different way at this time because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about brotherhood bonds, a whole line of family, what it meant for my Uncle Ray, who just passed away a couple of weeks ago, to be the last of his brothers, and to know that all of those guys are gone. You know, he didn't even make it a year and a half, 2 years after my father passed away. I'm not sure how much he wanted to be here,
Right.
After all of that stuff. And like, if you from Baton Rouge or other places like that, you know situations where he didn't got killed, his brother didn't got killed, shit, his mama didn't got killed, everybody. So it's not like I don't know tragic situations like that. When it happened to them in the way that it happened to them, just the bizarre, hyper tragic nature of all of it, it gives it this weird, almost spiritual through line. And you try to wonder when you're watching a movie or you're ingesting a story like that, you wonder, like, what's the point? Like, what did all of that tragedy mean? There has to be a meaning for someone to lose one kid from getting electrocuted, another kid from suicide, another kid from suicide, another kid had gastroenteritis.
Yeah, his intestines.
I think 3 sons committed suicide. I think it was Carrie, Michael, and the youngest one. So 3 suicides, and then all that. You wonder these, you know, especially as they get older.
Even like Carrie, like losing his leg.
Well done in the movie. Carrie losing his just a freak accident after freak accident. It's just a crazy, crazy, crazy story.
Great movie though. Everybody should go check it. Zac Efron's fucking jacked.
Yeah, he's big.
I'm like,
big.
bro, what did he? What? I want to know. Like, that's like committing to a role, because he turned into like a fucking John Cena level, yoked ass fucker.
He got big.
Yeah.
Got big. I mean, you know.
I wanted to ask you, because you obviously, shouts to the Higher Learning podcast, but what's it like working with a guy like Bill Simmons?
It's great.
Because I listened to the Bill Simmons pod. I've been listening for like fucking 10 years.
So
I mean,
look,
almost literally every episode.
So here's the thing. So imagine that you're a person like myself, right? And you have all of these varied interests. You're probably the number one guy in terms of wrestling.
Because you're on rewatchables a lot too. Which
Not
I
now,
love.
but in history, right?
Yeah.
I'm on, you know, but you love that. You love movies. You love sports.
In history,
you love politics. You love history. You are very invested into Black culture. You have thoughts on so many different things: video games, Marvel, all of that.
Right.
And then there's one place that somebody knows how to give you the opportunity to express, develop, and utilize those talents and those interests. It's not just about the fact that you're good at talking, because I think that if you talk enough, you'll get good at it, right? And if you get blind to the camera, then you'll do your thing.
Sorry, James Andre Jefferson Jr. just finished a workout. We're in a competition. I'm listening. One place. I'm listening.
See that? Nah, I like my job. Fuck it. No, go ahead. Since you're gonna check your watch while I'm doing my shit, go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
Nah, it's enough. That's enough. That's on McKinley High. I'm not finishing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta make sure. I have to make sure it's not my kid or my wife. It's always.
But if your kid has an emergency right now, you're sitting down with the the nigga who told Kanye off, I think you got to make decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is disrespectful. Yeah, daddy, I need ice cream. Daddy, I skinned my knee. Hey, your kid's name is Justin, right? Hey.
No, my kid's name's not Justin.
It probably is.
It's Aiden.
Either
First of all, both my kids are mixed.
Justin or Aiden. See how close that is?
Aiden and Millennium.
Nigga, what?
Yeah.
Millennium?
Yeah. My 10-year-old's name's Millennium, yeah.
Millennium?
Yeah.
But I mean, there's got to be a story.
So me and my wife.
Black lady?
No, she's Mexican. But okay. My son Millennium is. So we met when he was 3. So I have an 18-year-old from my previous relationship, right? Who I've had custody of the whole time. Me and my girl, when we started dating, her son is 3, but he's never met his dad. So she was watching TV one day, and there was like a Millennium Productions at the end of a TV show or something. And she was like, nobody else is going to name their kid this. I want a one-of-one name.
Now, she was right about that.
So we call him Millie, Millennium.
Millie?
Yeah.
It's that really the hip-hop shit again, the Cactus T shit. Millie.
No, but he's
what is he into? He raps?
No, he plays basketball. No, he's Mexican, Black, and Puerto Rican.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He about to be hell on these hoes, man.
Yeah.
That's a crazy mix.
No, he's a big hooper though.
He does like what he play like he play with Matt Kids or something like that.
He's in this Burbank League, and then he does this AAU tournament in Thousand Oaks.
What are you like as a basketball dad? Are you like let me pick up the Bill Simmons question real quick because I want to finish this. So I enjoy working with the Ringer. I enjoy working with the Ringer because I'll say this last sentence. It's one thing to go to a place where your talent is utilized. Yeah. It's another place to work at a place where your interests are utilized.
It's different, yeah.
It's different. Your talent being utilized means, hey, you're good at talking about something. We're going to make you talk about this thing that you don't really care about that much so that you can do something for us because we need you to fill a spot.
Well, like for like rewatchables, do you like tell them like, hey, if you ever do this movie, I want to be like that's my shit?
Not necessarily, but it'll be a situation to where it's like, hey, do you like this movie? Or you'll get a list of movies.
Like, hey, tell us which ones you like.
Yeah, and then you tell us which ones you like.
Rewatch was fucking amazing.
It's a great podcast. Just think about it. So think about how pure it is. It's just a podcast about rewatching old movies and talking about what the movie meant culturally, what you care, how much you care about the movie, where you were at the time.
Yeah, like in terms of like any of my non-hip hop like podcast listening, it's pretty much all Ringer Universe and Joe Rogan. Yeah. Because I fucking love, The Mismatch too with Verno and Kevin O'Connell. That's my NBA shit.
Big Rogan guy, huh?
Yeah, I like Rogan.
What do you like about him?
I just like the fact that like anybody who comes, like he'll have a crazy conversation with like a comedian, and then he'll have another conversation with like some dude who's like self-efficient setting up like farmland grid, and then another guy who like talked about like fucking, you know, like mapping out the old world. You know what I mean? I mean, he did an interview with a guy who went and investigated the mines in Congo, the cobalt mines in Congo. That was fucking crazy. That like, I just feel like if Joe Rogan, there's enough. It's just such a vast range of conversations.
Gives you more tools in your intellectual tool belt.
And I wouldn't even say that. It's just kind of like, because I don't agree with everything that's said on the podcast, you know?
Like the nigger word.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Wait, you do agree with the nigger word.
I didn't say that.
Well, see
look at what you did there.
This is the way, this is why you got to be careful. Because like.
You're fucking, you know what?
This is
TMZ level bullshit
this is
now.
Where, yeah, well, you think I learned it. This is where you got to be, this is where you got to be careful. This is where you got to be careful. Because I could make that clip look a crazy way. In my head, that's what I can make that clip look crazy. Like
no, you can't make it look that crazy.
Yes, I can. On Joe Rogan, I'm like the nigger word, which is a joke, and you went well.
No, I mean, well,
you said you don't agree with everything.
I don't agree with everything.
I said
that's obviously
the
that.
Word, and you're like, well, like
no, obviously I don't agree with that. No, obviously I don't agree with.
You're trying to. This is what we're gonna do.
What were your thoughts?
I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna clip this.
And try to ruin
and me. Then I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna do this whole thing in kayfabe. I'm gonna do
wrestling terms.
I'm gonna do this whole thing. I'm gonna clip this piece of this interview. And I'm gonna put out there. I'm gonna put it on Twitter. It's gonna you're gonna like it. I'm gonna say, Bootleg Kev hesitates to answer whether or not I'm teaching everybody right now how to cook a headline.
Yo, what's the point and shoot? Here you go.
I'm teaching everybody right now how to cook a headline. This is how you cook a headline. When you're writing a headline, there are 3 things you need. Number 1, conflict.
Yeah.
Like, for example, black iPhone on desk, no conflict. Right? How do you inject conflict into that headline about the black iPhone on the desk?
How?
Device made by child slave labor in China left on desk. Now you have something that is...
It'll peak. You'll be like,
oh, what is this device that was made by child?
Let me see what it
labor?
is. Let me click on this.
What is this? Why do we need children to make this device? What's the thing? What it is? That's the way you do that headline. One headline is, I don't care about an iPhone being on the desk, but something that kid slaves made, I care about that. Click on the headline, okay?
Oh, it's an iPhone. Fuck.
It's an iPhone, right?
Selective outrage.
Right. Now you go in there. Now, by the time you get to the fact that it's an iPhone, gotcha, bitch.
You
didn't click my shit. Aha.
Yeah.
Dummy. It was just about an iPhone that someone left on the desk.
Did you, I mean, is that...
Let me finish,
go ahead.
Please.
I'm listening.
Cactus tea. Now, we take you, right? And I asked you a question. You balked at it. I'm not sure why. But if I cut it off right, if I cut it off right there, I don't have to lie. It's not a lie. I can do it 2 ways. I can either ask a question that incites conflict,
okay,
which is...
By the way, is this TMZ 101?
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch Bootleg, and there are people much better at it than I was.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I was in terms of like
headline writing?
Yeah, like much better, right? Watch Bootleg Kev hesitate when asked if he supports Joe Rogan's N-word use. Now, you could do it that way. I wouldn't do that because that's leading too much. It's actually not the type of headline I would watch. Bootleg Kev. I'll probably put it in quotes. Bootleg Kev on Joe Rogan's N-word use. Well, and I'll put that in quotes. And I will put that in quotes. I will do like whatever you said. I will put Bootleg Kev because then this is what I want. What I want in the headline, number 1.
My name, SEO.
I don't want your name. God bless you.
No, in the headline.
Whose name do I want?
Joe Rogan's.
That's the name I want.
Yeah, true.
So I want Joe Rogan's name in the headline.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want Joe. I might even do this. I might even put above the headline, I might put Joe Rogan, right? Mm-hmm. And then I might put podcaster Cactus T agrees or balks or hesitates when asked if he likes N-word usage on Joe Rogan Experience. Boom, we're going everywhere. Now, then this is what I'll do. Then I'll take the clip of Joe Rogan saying the N-word over and over and over again. That's a sub asset in the post. That's at the bottom of the post.
Oh, this sounds how I see it.
This is how you do it. Then as a sub asset at the bottom of the post, and then I put tags. And all throughout there, I got hyperlinks. I got Rogan's apology in the post. I got Rogan saying the N-word in the post. I got the whole 9.
Yeah.
And then I leave off on a question.
I'm wondering, because you obviously worked at TMZ, right? You're, you have one of the more famous moments ever.
Yeah.
Was there ever anything you were a part of over there that you ever like regretted later on in terms of like maybe a particular story or like what you just told me?
You like that?
Like you just walked me through this whole thing, which was essentially your job. Was there ever anything you look back on and you're like, damn,
that I was a part of,
that you were a part of, or
there are plenty of things that happened at TMZ that I was embarrassed about.
Not even just that you were at TMZ for, but like maybe it was a story you wrote that maybe you got wrong initially. Maybe you felt like it was an unfair approach to that person that after you got later context, you maybe, were like, fuck.
Oh, see, here's the thing about me. There is one time, and there's something that I learned from it. There was one time where I did this whole thing with a porn star that I found out wasn't sleeping with black talent, right? Okay. And I named the porn star. The way I would do that now, because it was kind of like I'm on TV, it's early and I'm reckless. I'm just, hey, I found out that this porn star that everyone likes doesn't sleep with black talent. And
Who was the porn star?
On camera. Well, if I do that now, it makes no sense.
True.
You know
Okay,
what I mean?
go ahead.
So if I found out that they didn't sleep with black talent, and so I asked a question about it, and they weren't into porn. So the entire room, they don't really know what's going on, right? So they're like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Harvey goes crazy. He loves the story. They put it up. They put her up there. They do the whole thing. Now, to me, is it a relevant conversation to have about racism in porn or why certain porn stars won't do scenes with black guys? Sure, it's a relevant conversation, but it's such a widespread thing that's probably unfair to make one person the face of that, right? If you're going to talk about it the way you talk about it and not make one person the victim of a lot of vitriol when that person might not necessarily be a racist, is you just say, hey, you ask the same question, because I asked somebody on the street, I said, hey, blah, 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 doesn't do that, then I name the person. You just say, hey, my favorite porn star, or porn star I like, or whatever, like that. And then you have the same conversation, you get the same feel.
Just remove the name.
But somebody doesn't have to bear the brunt of it.
Because it's an industry-wide thing.
It's not an industry-wide thing. Only certain people do it.
No, I'm talking about just the racism in porn in general.
Racism in porn is an industry-wide thing. Yeah. And I don't have any problem talking about that. And I don't have any problem asking somebody, okay, well, then what's the reason that you wouldn't work with black talent? Like, what is that reason? Because it's such a fundamentally troubling thing to me. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, you'll do all of this, but like not that. Mm-hmm. I mean, later on, I figured out that I've talked to enough people, black and white, and they told me that there are just straight up business reasons for it. Whatever, it's their industry. I'm not going to get involved with it. They can fight their own battle. But what I'm saying is, whatever it is, forget about it. Whatever it is, what I have to do is be really intentional when I want someone to wear a problem.
Right.
When I want to put a problem on somebody, when you're on television, when you have a microphone in front of you, you have to be super intentional when you call somebody out. Because when you call somebody out, you make them the issue that you're talking about. And they have to have earned that to such a degree.
Right.
That you have to be so sure about that, or else you just don't care about your own responsibility. That's something that I regretted, or something that I learned to do differently. As far as stories that I might have broken, to be honest with you, not really, and I'll tell you why. The stories that I was involved with, they weren't that big a deal. Like my job at TMZ, I wrote a lot of stories, but my job at TMZ, especially after the first couple of years, because, I was on the street. No.
Well, you started with like the tours, right?
I was on the TMZ tour, and then I was on the street, right, with the camera. Sometimes those interactions I would regret.
Just like running up on somebody like...
Yeah, and it's because I'm from the South, and for the most part, that job was fun. And for the most part, celebrities in Los Angeles, they know the deal.
They're cool.
They're down to have a good time. But every once in a while, you put the camera on somebody and you look, and they'd have that look of, I'm really having a fucked up day. Like something's going on with me. Like something's happening, or you put your camera on somebody and they would be like, I don't know, crying, or they would be sad, or, they're with their kids.
Was there a specific instance you can recall?
Not really. Not a specific one that I can recall. Of course you would have people get mad at you, but not one where I felt that I can recall that I felt really, really bad about, but I just know that there were certain times to where I was like, oh, they're not fucking feeling this today.
Hey, we got to stop the interview to tell you about our good folks. Want to give a shout out to Odd Socks. That's right, baby. Go to oddsocksofficial.com. They just celebrated 10 years. 10 years of Odd Socks? That's right. Use the promo code Bootleg right now. You'll get 20% off. All right, look, they got all the socks. They're the most comfortable socks in the world, though. I'd actually like to point out that that's a fact. Well, it's also factually my opinion, but I am telling you, you won't find a more comfortable sock than Odd Socks. Now, the real key is, guys, the Odd Socks basics. These right here, these are the only socks on my feet. If you saw me on NBA YoungBoy's couch with some wet, dusty-ass, snow-ridden sock, it was a white Odd Socks basic. The most comfortable sock in the world. They got all the licenses. They got fucking Crush. They got Baja Blast, Beavis and Butthead, Hot Cheetos, Modelo. I mean, Scarface. We can go on and on and on. They got the underwear. They got it all. Look. If you like A1 steak sauce, they got a pair of drawers for that ass. Go to oddsocksofficial.com right now. Use the promo code Bootleg. Save 20% off at checkout. Thank me later. Also, want to give a big shout out to the good folks at King Palm. That's right, baby. If y'all don't know about King Palm, let me tell you about King Palm, bruh. First of all, we're talking about straight, raw, organic goodness. Hand me a box, Cyrus. Hand me a box. Give me a box. Oh, my goodness. Look, what's dope about King Palm is no tobacco, straight organic, natural leaf, all right? Oh, we got more. Oh, these are the dragon fruit king sizes. Jesus Christ, how much King Palm? Oh, my fucking God. Just King Palms. Listen, that's all we smoke out of, all right? And they got the terpene-infused tips with that flavor. Listen, bruh, the flavor, let me just show you what that looks like. Like this right here is some of that blue grape. You know, you light that up, you maybe put some of your favorite premium whatever you want in there, you know? You light it up, you got the tip, you squeeze that bad boy, you're getting hit with a rush of flavor. And right now, 50% off when you go to kingpalm.com and use the promo code Bootleg. They got grinders, they got, what else do they got? They got goddamn ashtrays, they got all the King Palm leaves in the world. My favorite, though, right now, I do love the Sugar Sean Honey Orange. Is fire, all right? 7-Eleven, you can go get King Palm at 7-Eleven. You go to your local liquor store and load up on King Palm. It's a clean way to smoke. It's a great way to smoke. It's a natural way to smoke. Tobacco-free, straight leaf in it. I will never smoke out of anything but a King Palm for the rest of my life, all right? So shout out to King Palm. Go to kingpalm.com one more time. Promo code Bootleg. Save 50% off at checkout. Half off. What are we talking about? Let's get back to the interview. The paparazzi game is such an interesting one. I always have been like super intrigued by it. Like I watched, did you ever see the Netflix show? It was only one season where they, like the ambulance chasers, who they go and they get the footage on like accidents and then they sell it to like the news stations and
like
stuff
Stringers?
like that. Yeah. Crazy show. I forget what it was called. So good. It was actually like a Netflix original. But like on the paparazzi side, it's like someone's going to do that job, right? Mm-hmm. Those people like have to, I mean, if that's their profession, like I'm sure paparazzi have kids, they have families, they got to support themselves. Was it like, are there like people who have just been doing this job? Because it feels like a means to doing something else. If you're doing that job. No. Or there are people who like, they're sure. 30 years.
They've been doing it for a long time. Been doing it as long as they can do it for, right? Because there's always somebody new and...
because I think of like the guys who get like the real private photos and I'm like, damn. Like,
so let me tell you something about that or anything. There are very few jobs, any type of job that you can do that are completely devoid of integrity. Like drug dealing is bad. We act like it's not, but it is.
Oh, it's terrible.
Drug dealing is bad, right?
Yeah.
There are levels to drug dealers. There's a way to do drug dealing, to deal drugs.
And we're talking about serious drugs here.
Talking about serious drugs.
Yeah, if you're...
There are a way to deal drugs to do less harm than somebody else. Like, hey, I won't deal drugs to a 7-year-old kid. I won't deal drugs to a pregnant lady.
Right.
I won't deal drugs. Like, there are ways to do that. Now, it's all bad, right? But there are ways to even do that with integrity, right? So if you look at being a paparazzi as an inherently bad thing, which, once again, it's part of a celebrity ecosystem. It's really not any different than anything else. Like, you're famous. Part of being famous is leveraging fame and people take your picture. It's part of a celebrity ecosystem. It in and of itself is not bad. However, the nature of the job sometimes can lend itself to being hyper-competitive. And when it's hyper-competitive, then that means that the humanity of the subjects on the other side of the camera are not being taken into consideration.
Right.
So if it's, and the same thing about anything else, it's, I got to be first. I got to get the picture exclusive.
The raciest photo.
I got to get the raciest photo. So I'll stick my camera up your dress. So I'll doorstep you, which means I'll be outside of your house waiting for you to come outside your house. Don't know what's going to come outside your house. Doorstepping people, which TMZ didn't do. I'll incite you. I'll put the camera in your face and ask you about your friend who died to try to get you to cry or try to make you mad, because that picture's gonna go everywhere. Because once it gets hyper competitive and the capitalism gets involved, then that makes you look at the person as you're a big game hunter now. You're not a photographer anymore. Now you're trying to get someone.
You're trying to get something to sell to a site, right?
Right. So if you're a freelancer, if you're TMZ, you work for TMZ, right?
You got to abide by their rules.
Right. And like the way it's supposed to be at TMZ is like you pick your camera up, someone says, hey, I'm not into it, you shut your camera down, right?
To be respectful.
Right. It's more of an on-the-street interview than it is actually just snapping pictures. That is not to separate what TMZ paparazzi are doing from anybody else. I was on the street with a lot of different guys, and most of them are cool. Like, most of them are cool. But then you have some guys that don't give a fuck, that are going to get the shot however they're going to get the shot. And if they have to follow you for a little while, if they have to wait outside your kid's school, if they have to do all of that stuff, they're going to get it. And so what I'm saying is that's not indicative of the industry per se.
Right.
To me, it's indicative of what that person is willing to do to get an extra buck or to succeed.
Yeah. I think it's just like, you know, I feel like living here, you kind of see it a little differently, because like you said, like you'll talk to people and they'll like, management will call and be like, yo, my client's leaving this restaurant at this time.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a lot of it.
Like a lot of it is that though. Like a lot,
management.
like for people who don't know, like, or the artists will even do it, right?
Oh my God, bro.
Or the artist or the actor or whatever, because they want to paint their narrative.
Yeah. I give you an example. Well, I don't want to say names, but there was a R&B singer who was a pretty big R&B singer at one time that I knew through a friend of mine. And, you know, was at the Saddle Ranch in this big fancy car. And the three of us were eating at the Saddle Ranch, right? We were hanging out eating at the Saddle Ranch. And I was like, when you leave here, I said, you privacy, you on the low or whatever? And he goes, no, it's not at all. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna send a camera to you. I was like, no, as a matter of fact, I'm not gonna send a camera to you. I got my camera in the car, I'm just gonna shoot you. And we're gonna do a little thing for TMZ. And so car pulls out, it's like a big red Bentley or something like that, right? Recognizable guy, had hits. And I pulled the camera out. When I pulled the camera out and I start shooting him inside of this car, everybody starts coming around. Everybody's like, oh my God, who is that? And they know his face.
Right.
Like, they probably wouldn't have bothered him any other time, but they know his face.
Right.
So everybody's going to, man, I get in my shit and I'm going back to the office and I get a call. Bro, that fucking shit was crazy, man. We ought to do that all the time. Bro, I needed that, bro. Like, I fucking needed that, man. We should do that all the time. And now you have somebody that wants to get shots. You have people that want want you to shoot them. That's a contact. That's someone that if they are ever involved in a story,
you could hit them.
Now that you have that relationship,
right.
Or if someone tangential to them is ever involved into a story with the story, now you have that relationship. So there is not, for the most part, at least while I was there, an adversarial relationship between TMZ and the celebrity at large. Most of the celebrities dig it. I don't know how it is now. Things have changed a little bit.
Of course.
But most celebrities dug it to me. And if they didn't dig it, they didn't have a problem with it.
They got it.
Right. Then there are some who just can't fucking stand it.
Like Iggy Azalea.
Iggy, Mel Gibson, the fucking like Owen and Luke Wilson.
Oh, they don't fuck with it.
Don't fuck with it. Like, a lot of people like that don't fuck with it. And if I saw a black celebrity and they were in a situation to where, like, I remember one time I saw Golden Brooks, nice sweet lady, and she was eating. She was at she was actually with Regina King.
Oh shit.
They were eating. This is years ago.
Watchmen season 2, please. Fuck.
No, not Regina King. She was with Regina Hall. She was with Regina Hall, and they were eating at on Sunset. And I remember I was walking around with my camera, and I asked them, two black women. I'm not trying to. I asked.
They're trying to roll it, yeah.
Yeah, they were eating. I'm asking them, like, after you guys done, do you want to do a shot for? And they went, no, move on.
Yeah,
not a big deal. Somebody else will be around, you know. But it's just all of that stuff. Once again, it's part of an ecosystem. What I will say about TMZ is this: there is a lot of criticism that TMZ gets, right?
Yeah.
From all kinds of people. Mm-hmm. You get criticism from TMZ. People will tell you, you worked there, you did this, you did that, all of that stuff. People hate TMZ, they hate it. Everybody is TMZ.
True.
Like everyone is TMZ.
Because guess what? When you see that famous person, what do you do?
I mean that in two ways. Number one, when people know that you work there, it doesn't matter where you go. You go sit down at the nicest restaurant in LA. I'm in LA. I'm at Cut. I sit down. Somebody comes over. They know me from the show. Hey, just to let you know, Tom Hanks is going to be here in a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
shit.
The valets, everyone wants to be a part of it. That's one.
Do you
thing.
tip them?
Yeah, if they give you a good,
Yeah.
if they give you a good tip. Yeah, I would. And the other part of it is this: if you are an outlet or you are a radio station, you're a blog, you're whatever, and you repurpose a TMZ story, meaning you report on what they reported.
Right.
You give the information that they got. You're TMZ.
Yeah, I mean, I've used TMZ so much.
Like you're
on the radio.
Like what they want more than anything is for other people to pick up the things.
Well,
that
I also
reported.
think like,
and so my thing is, there have been so many places where even when I was working there and even after that, I've been criticized, right? And then I hear them say, according to TMZ, this and this and happened. If that's like, you can't have that both ways. If a place is too fucked up for you, either you're gonna say this place has to exist and you want them to be better, or you're not gonna fuck with them. And then on top of that, most of these other celebrities, I've had celebrities or people that I know directly criticize TMZ and what they've done, and then I'll see them when they have something to promote on TMZ Live. You can't do it that way.
Yeah. It's like you're gonna shit on TMZ, but then when you need us,
which by the way, when I was there were times where the website wasn't a little irresponsible. It was insanely irresponsible, downright racist, sexist, insensitive, the whole nine. When I was there, there was an attachment post 2016 to Donald Trump that TMZ did a lot of his bidding. I'm not at all caping for the organization, but what I'm saying is, with some place like that thrives on attention, the sharing of stories.
it's kind of like the Vlad thing, right? It's like people talk shit about Vlad, but then they'll go on his show when they have to promote their album or they need some clout or
Look,
they're washed.
The reality is, it's a massive platform.
Yeah, it's a huge platform.
And so people.
And I don't want to compare Vlad and TMZ because I don't want to do that because, you know.
Look, there's nothing inherently wrong with TMZ. There's
actually,
inherently wrong with what Vlad is doing. Vlad is doing interviews. TMZ is doing celebrity news. The reality is, if you have a problem with it, the only way to really affect that problem is to not participate.
Yeah, don't
or
participate,
consume.
yeah.
That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
And the reality is that the influence on the website and the platform on culture is too strong for anyone to really do that.
The way I look at
Most people, some people.
what TMZ is like, they've been right, like almost. I feel like when they're not right, they update the story in such a real time that it's like
Very few times they're going to be inaccurate.
yeah. And
As
a radio personality, always like, yo, let's check TMZ. What's TMZ?
I'll give you an example. People said that TMZ was inaccurate on the Lil Wayne story. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Do you remember the story?
Was it when he got arrested?
All right, so I'm gonna do another TMZ. No, it wasn't when he was arrested. It was when he was sick.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes, when he was having his seizures.
Yeah. TMZ,
Yes.
Lil Wayne.
I remember that.
This was one of the times that I caught some of the most hell. Okay. All right. So March 2013, TMZ reported that Lil Wayne was in a coma and received his last rites at Cedars-Sinai Hospital.
I remember this, yeah.
In Los Angeles. Okay. So let's look at. I'm gonna give everyone right now another little lesson, because here's the story right now. Let's look at it. So it's been updated a bunch of times right now, but
You originally wrote this story?
no, I didn't have anything
okay.
to do with it. I was on the street at this time.
Okay.
So it says this. It says Lil Wayne is in ICU critical condition after suffering yet another seizure. We're told it doesn't look good. TMZ has learned. We broke the story. The 30-year-old rapper was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Hospital. First of all, prayers up for Wayne. Glad that Wayne is happy, healthy, and doing well.
Of course.
Just using this as an example. This is one of the things. So all of this stuff that is being alleged in here is being confirmed through sources. So someone is telling someone this.
Right.
Okay. Someone is telling someone that this is what is going on. Okay. So let me tell you what a lie is journalistically here. Is that person isn't telling us that if we're making that up. Right now, so when they say Lil Wayne is in critical condition and he's being read his last rites.
A source had to have said that.
No. If a source says that and then it is put up on TMZ and it's attributed to sources, then that story is legit, right? If the source said it. If the source said that, then the story is legit. Now, if Lil Wayne pulls through, the source said, hey, it doesn't look good. That's that person's objective
interpretation
opinion,
of what's going on. Yeah.
Doesn't look good. Somebody came in like they're preparing for something. Objective opinion. Now Lil Wayne rebounded and the whole world went. TMZ lied. It was never that big of a deal. Give people an example of something. You're married. I'm not calling this on your marriage. I'm just using this as an example. If you got brothers or sisters?
One sister.
Got one sister. If I walk into a restaurant right now and someone says, or if I'm on the basketball court and someone that I've never met before says, hey, you know Bootleg Kev, I saw you on this podcast. And I'm like, yeah. It's like, Bootleg Kev is getting a divorce. Knock, knock. Bootleg Kev is not getting a divorce. God protect this marriage. Says Bootleg Kev is getting a divorce. If I run to the website and put that up on the website, that's an irresponsible story.
Because who's your source?
Who's my source? You have a sister.
My sister tells you.
If your sister tells me,
right?
If your sister tells me,
then it's like, well, that's a source.
Sources close to Bootleg Kev say the marriage is on the rocks and divorce is
on the
imminent.
table or something. Yeah.
If you do not get divorced, that does not make that story less true. The story is not you getting divorced or not getting divorced. The story is your sister, who they don't know who she is. You're not going to out your source.
Right.
Told us that you were getting divorced. The strength of that, and that goes for journalism everywhere. Hey, before the Dobbs decision is coming out, somebody gets a hold of the opinion that somebody wrote, or someone like, this hasn't leaked yet, but according to sources that tell ABC News, this information is coming out. Well, if the information doesn't come out, ABC News would be embarrassed, of course. And so you have to do your due diligence with the sources that you have, that they're not going to double back on you.
Right.
But the reality of the situation is, if you have a source and that source is ironclad and that source is in with whomever you're talking about, that's a go on that story. The question about whether or not you would report something that's that serious unless you knew it
to be 1,000%
true,
that's different.
Varies
platform to platform.
Platform to platform. Yeah. When you report about Michael Jackson and the fact that he had passed away, you haven't seen the body. You haven't checked his pulse.
Right.
You haven't done any of that stuff. You don't know. When you report on Prince, like you haven't seen his dead body.
Right.
Somebody that knows him really well said he was dead.
Yeah.
And so, and you know that to be true. You're staking your relationship with them in a journalistic way of them being a good source, right? So when I say that they're normally right, it's if something is factually correct or factually incorrect, it normally won't go up on the site. I'll talk about one story that I did have. Jason Pierre-Paul, the football player, remember him?
JPP. Fireworks incident, maybe?
Yep. I knew about that hours before it happened. Hours. Like hours before it happened. Somebody hit me and literally went, hey man, JPP just blew his hand off with some fireworks. Hours before it happened. It ended up, because that was on 4th of July, right? And so it ended up happening maybe at a certain time. It was on the East Coast, and I couldn't ever put it up on the site. I couldn't put it up on the site because I couldn't confirm it. I couldn't get a picture of it, right? I couldn't get any of that stuff, right? I could have gone on the source that he did that, but it's such a finite thing that when this has happened, not this will happen, but this has happened, I either need to be able to talk to somebody that saw the hand and can give me pictures of the hand. I need to be ironclad because I can't put that up
and then it not be true.
Because that's a straight
Because
up
it
lie.
either happened or it didn't happen.
It's either happened or it didn't happen. That's a straight up lie.
Yeah.
So guess what?
That's fair.
We put it on the story. We couldn't get it.
Right.
The guy who did get it, I think it was Schefter.
Probably, yeah.
He violated HIPAA laws to get it. Because he got the shit. I remember him getting in trouble. I don't want to say if it wasn't Schefter, so because I don't want to get
Yeah, you don't want to but somebody.
You take out the Schefter thing.
Okay.
There was actually somebody who did get it that violated HIPAA laws to get the story and ended up getting in trouble. We weren't going to do that. We weren't going to call. We weren't going to call any hospitals to try to get it. We were calling any doctors to try to get it. I was trying to get deeper into his inner circle to have someone give me a picture of the hand.
Damn, that's crazy. I feel like that world, the Schefter, like the Shams versus Woj world, that shit's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's like the sports TMZ.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have TMZ Sports, so it's the same thing, but we didn't do contract stuff. It was more lifestyle stuff around the guys. But it's the same thing. A trade is about to happen, like at 3 hours from now.
Yeah.
They send it to Woj.
Send it to Woj.
They send it to Woj. Woj bomb. Boom. What if they didn't take the deal off the table? Did Woj lie? Mm-hmm. No. Somebody told him that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I was going to ask you, you mentioned that people felt like TMZ did the bidding for Trump, and I feel like all the news networks are pretty much guilty of that.
No, they weren't.
I think CNN did. In terms of just how much they covered him, there was like a free infomercial for Trump all day.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about.
What capacity did you mean when you said that?
That the stories were favorable.
Oh, they were favorable for him. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's different.
like because Harvey and Trump were friends.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
they were.
Well, I was going to ask you just like because you talk politics a lot on your podcast. For people who don't know, go check it out. It's a dope podcast.
Higher Learning Podcast, the Ringer Podcast Network. We're gonna have Cactus Tea on our show pretty soon.
Well, I was going to ask you like, where do you see? Because I don't think Biden's going to end up being the guy. Because I think he'll lose. I think they probably know that by now.
Yeah. So roll that out for me.
Well, I was just going to ask you like,
no. Stay on your opinion. So Biden's not gonna run. So who's going to run?
I think it'd probably be Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom will run. Okay. When are they gonna make this decision?
I think they got to make it after Super Tuesday.
So, wait.
Or after the primaries is what I meant to say.
After the Democratic primaries.
Yeah.
So they're going to do the primaries. Joe Biden is then going to be.
I think he's going to take like if I had to predict it, I think he's going to probably just for like health reasons, just step away, which is probably like the way to do it, right?
So with every passing day, every passing second, that becomes less likely.
You're right. Because I don't disagree with you. My thing is do you feel like what happened, because I feel like the CNN, Fox News, news cycles, MSNBC, during 2016, 2015, all you would see is Trump, Trump, because it was good for ratings, right? And I feel like something
It was also a relevant news story.
It was, but I feel like something similar is kind of happening now, but in terms of like all of these cases that are, and he broke the law, right? Well, allegedly, obviously he's going to have to go to court and,
It looks like it if you're being objective that there's some smoke there in some of these cases, yeah.
Right. So are all these cases to me are kind of doing the same thing that the media did from the first go round, because I feel like it's kind of like making people feel like he's like a martyr more now than ever. Who if you had to predict who's going to be the next president right now?
I would predict Joe Biden. Here's the thing.
So you think Biden's sticking in it?
If I had to predict,
if you had to, that's fair. Okay.
Your scenario is not out of the question, but I'm interested. The reason why I ask follow-ups is because I'm interested in the specificity of it, right?
Right.
Okay, Joe Biden's not going to run. Everybody say, okay, Joe Biden's not going to run. Who's going to run? Are they going to give Michelle to do it?
That'd be nice.
Is it going to? So in your situation, right?
Let's say it's Newsom versus Trump.
Let's say it's Newsom, right? That's a gigantic problem for the Democrats. Newsom is a I wouldn't say a great candidate. He's a corporate Democrat like the rest of them.
He's an extremely corporate Democrat.
Yeah, he's a corporate, but he is young, charismatic.
Who was just hanging out with Clinton today.
Speaks incredibly well.
He's a statesman.
He's
presentable.
Went on Fox News, was able to mix it up with Sean Hannity or whoever else they have him on there.
Yeah, held his own against Hannity, held his own against DeSantis.
Well, actually, ate Hannity's lunch.
Murdered Hannity for sure. Yeah.
But okay, so if Gavin Newsom is your candidate, what's the problem with that? What's the huge problem with him being a candidate?
I think that the national opinion of California is that it's in shambles and that he's a terrible.
I don't think that's that big of a deal.
What do you think is the main problem then?
You jumped Kamala Harris. So the fact that you jumped Kamala Harris, right?
Yeah.
After making such a big deal
of her being the first woman
about
of
her
color,
being the first
woman
black
vice president. Yeah.
VP.
Yeah.
You jumped Kamala Harris. Now, every single black woman, not all of them, but a lot of black women, let me not speak in absolutes, that support Democrats more loyally
blindly
than any other group. I wouldn't say blindly now.
No, but very, very like, I mean, my grandma and my mom are like that. Like,
what I'm saying is,
old
though,
school Democrats, it's like, it doesn't matter.
I know, black women are incredibly well educated, and I think they're making decisions. I don't think it's blind support. I think it's traditional support. I wouldn't call it blind.
Okay.
Those voters are now, to a degree, disenchanted. Now, that doesn't mean that they would vote for Donald Trump. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is it would be incredibly politically risky if you were going to go with another candidate to alienate your most loyal base.
Yeah. So let's say it's Kamala Gavin.
Like Kamala at the top of the ticket, Gavin as vice president. Would he do that?
I would think so.
I don't know.
He wants to be president, dude.
Absolutely. I think he will be one day. The question is when. The question is it 28? Does Kamala still get her turn? Does she still get her turn at president? Is he does she come back in 28? Then does he have to wait, or does he jump her? Obama jumped a couple of people.
Yeah.
It just sometimes you grab the world in your hands and you have to do that.
Jumped Hillary,
right?
Yeah.
And so then when you come back to kind of what it is we're talking about in terms of Donald Trump right now, there's a couple questions I would ask you. Who's indicting Donald Trump?
I mean, that's the question. If he gets indicted, I think that is...
Well, he's been indicted.
Well, if he gets convicted, rather.
Right. So my question is, when I say who's indicting him, I'm asking specific questions about the coverage, right? CNN isn't indicting Trump. MSNBC isn't indicting Trump. Trump has been indicted in New York, in Georgia, and he's been indicted by the Justice Department. Okay. So those entities indicting Donald Trump, whether you feel like it's politically motivated or not, they have a duty to prosecute crimes.
Right.
And if there are crimes committed under their watch and they become aware of these crimes,
they're not going to take it to indictment unless they think they can get a conviction, right?
That's the only purpose of doing it. So they have to prosecute criminals. So what I wouldn't want is a Justice Department or a DA or any of these people that represent, the carceral conditions of America and the carceral state that we live in, which is bad. Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge fan of just locking people up and throwing away the key. That's not the way I look at the world. But I wouldn't want any of them to not indict or prosecute specifically a wealthy white man because they think it's bad politically. I think if you are no one thinks about whether or not it's bad for the hood when you are going to indict a man for selling drugs and he has a family or he has a baby's mother or he has this. No one thinks about if it's bad for his family.
No, for sure.
Nobody thinks about if it's bad for anything else when they do that. I see criminal, I get criminal, I put criminal in jail. So, and more often than not, when we're looking at the other side of this, those guys are being targeted. They are being stopped and frisked.
For sure.
There are police in their neighborhoods waiting to create a criminal out of the circumstances and the systemic dysfunction and failure that has existed in America for a very long time. There are people waiting to do that. So they're almost born into this sort of legal entrapment that for a lot of them it's difficult to escape. So the question isn't whether or not it's making people sympathetic to Donald Trump, whether or not to indict him. The question is, did he fucking do it?
So I think that's the question on the factual base. But I'm talking about perceptually, it doesn't matter.
What difference does that make, though?
Well, I mean, we're going to see.
So you would want the Justice Department to say
no,
because then that would certainly demonstrate collusion between the Justice Department and the administration.
No. What I'm saying is, you're saying they're doing their job, which they are doing. Mm-hmm. I think that Joe Schmo's perception of what's happening is, it's all happening at the same time. there's a reason why they don't want him in, so I'm going to vote for him.
Look, here's the thing. I'll just be honest with you. Maybe there are people who are more sympathetic to American criminals, right? I tell you what, Americans have had a long cultural relationship with criminality, right? Mafiosos, Scarface, dope dealers, all have been lionized, and there've been movies made about them and all stuff. I'll tell you what they've never done. They've never taken one of those guys that they knew to be a criminal and decided that he was going to lead the country. So what I'm going to say is this. If we are so deep down the rabbit hole of Trump's being persecuted or something like that's happened to that you want him to lead the nation, that's fine. You can't argue with that.
Listen, it's a wild...
It's not wild at all.
It's a wild... I just feel like we've been living in like a Family Guy episode or a South Park episode the last like 8 years. So like if he's like reelected, I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Look, here's the thing. When you ask me why I think that he'll lose, or why I think that Biden, who is objectively a bad candidate,
for sure,
like objectively a bad candidate,
yes,
right? I'll give you a couple of examples why I think that. One, history tells me Trump will lose. Trump won one election, and then he's been consistently losing elections since then. Lost in 2020.
All the midterms,
people have flipped on him. They've cooled.
Yeah, the people who have like dived into the election stealing shit have been losing.
Yeah. Also, there's been a referendum from America,
right,
on Trumpism, on the whole MAGA thing. The parts of America that are very definitively MAGA are not going to come away from it. They feel represented and seen through that, so that's not going to change. But the people who are at the margins of that actually flipped elections, they have been going a different way. So I would have to see them elect him again for me to change trend. Not for me to believe it, because they did do it in 2016, to change trend, number one. I also do think that as the criminal trials begin and as things mount, he will probably become even less desirable by some of the other people on his side. The Republicans are working against Donald Trump right now. They're raising a lot of money for other people.
They're trying to get Nikki Haley,
Ron DeSantis, whatever.
Yeah.
Not going to be able to do it. He's still going to win. But I'll say this. So with all of that stuff, like I think that Joe Biden probably still would beat Donald Trump if he ends up in a general election. But Joe Biden and the Democrats are doing themselves. I'm all the way to the left. They're doing themselves a tremendous disservice in the way they are running their campaign.
I just saw Obama, like sources close to Obama said that he's...
There you go.
Yeah.
So...
you saw that story about...
I did see it. There are a couple of measurables out there that actually look good for the president, that look good for his administration. Economy's coming back. Not the way people will want it to come back, but it's coming back robustly. Not maybe as quickly as people want to come back. Economy's coming back. Gas prices coming down. We keep talking about how bad things are on the streets. Data says, you gotta talk to people. You always have to talk to people. But data says that violent crime is down in most of the places where it was up before. There's still places where it's terrible. And if you're on the ground in some of these places and you talk to people, you're gonna get all kinds of different stories about how their lives actually are. I get that. So there are things to message. They're not messaging them.
Well, they've always kind of been the worst at promoting themselves. They have a messaging problem. A branding problem.
Well, one problem that they have now is that they don't have an executive that's capable of speaking with authority and charisma to his wins or to his failures.
Right.
They don't have that.
He's not capable.
He's not capable. And for whatever reason, they've sidelined Kamala Harris. She hasn't been where she needs to be. People think that these things are criticisms of the Democrats that I make. I'm not a Democrat. But I said I'm all the way to the left, but I don't have any party affiliation. People think that these criticisms I make of the Democratic Party are ones that I'm making because there's some sort of secret agenda from me or from anybody else. They're observations that I hope that people would listen to so that these things would change. There's no problem right now that people that look at the world like me are observing that would be better under Donald Trump. The war in the Middle East would be prosecuted in a much less favorable way, in a much more aggressive and bloody way to the Palestinians in Gaza than it already is being. And what we're seeing over there right now is
It's terrible.
just ridiculous murder, right?
It's crazy.
So just all over the place. But it would be worse under Trump. Trump, while he was in office, you could make an argument, stoked some of these
tropes.
He stoked some of these fires. He some of these tensions arose under him. He made the decision geopolitically to move the embassy to Jerusalem and recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel,
right?
Which was a long-held point of contention between Israel and the West Bank, like who has Jerusalem. Everybody had just said kind of, we're leaving that on the table. We're not trying to figure that out. It's a place that nobody kind of owns. You got to talk about Jordan, the West Bank, all that stuff. And Trump was like, no. Jerusalem is the cultural and political center of Israel. He moved it there. And not very many other places in the world went along with him doing that. The reality of it is that he did that to signal just how staunch an ally he is of not just Israel, but of Bibi Netanyahu. I want to make sure I say this. Any criticism that I have of Israel is of Israel as a state.
Right.
Any criticism that I have of any state is of that state as a state, right? People are diving deep into some pretty obvious anti-Semitism, and these things are being conflated. But if you are talking about a country and its geopolitical actions, its economic actions, its human rights violations, or human rights violations that have been committed against them in October 7th, right, one of the worst terrorist attacks we've ever seen. You have to talk about it in a sanitized, intellectual way. And the reality is there's a geopolitical advantage for the United States to have an ally where Israel's situated, for them to have a country that has some semblance of democracy.
And to blindly support.
And to blindly support it, not because they believe in Israel, its people, its freedom, its self-determination, or the freedom of the self-determination of anybody else in that region, but because they believe in their own. And
it's our own interests that are
their own interests at heart. Yeah. It's being able to check up on Iran and being able to have an ally there. And so you'll send them as many Apache helicopters as they need, $3.3 billion a year. So when you're talking about like what you think a country should be able to do and what they should do, you're talking about how you look at the world. And the way I look at the world is through things that have been deprived of me when I was a kid in Baton Rouge, which is freedom, justice, access to food, water, healthcare, environmental justice, one person, one vote, having your life matter. Those are things that when I'm consistently burying people where I'm from, that I do not see being reflected in certain situations all over the world, right? And that's the way I look at the world. I don't look at the world through America first.
Right.
I don't look at the world through the lens of what's good for us is the most important thing to me. I look at the world through the lens of, are people getting what they need? Do people have what they need? Particularly in this case, I'm not asking America to be the police for the entire world. Particularly in this case, America's involved.
Yeah, very much involved without being involved.
Right, America's involved. So if America's involved and, 3 cents out of every dollar that I have are going to the Defense Department, whatever the number is, probably more than that, then what I want to know is that the people in charge have values and beliefs about the value and sanctity of human life that align with mine.
Well, the only candidate that's running that is Cornel West that shares those, I feel like, because everybody else I feel like is very much.
That's what I mean. It's not a Biden thing. It's not a Trump thing. It's an American thing.
No, it's an American. I think it's the most bipartisan shit ever to support.
And by the way, here's the deal. And the killing of Jeffrey Epstein. And
God!
It's like
the Epstein shit's crazy.
But here's the thing. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. I'm saying that I have a problem with there being with having allies.
Right.
There's no problem with America being like in a cultural or economic or even a military alliance with Israel. The problem becomes when things are being rubber stamped that as an American citizen, I think go against our stated morals and goals. And
values. The values of the country
that have never been upheld, or things that go against mine.
Right.
And I'm allowed to say, hey, you know what? I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to feel safe in their own home. I love the fact that there's a place where Jews can go and they can feel at home
Right.
and they can feel safe.
Right.
I want everybody to have that. But at the same time, what I want is for power in the world to be responsible. That's it.
That's beautifully said.
Yeah. Look, we out. I
out.
gotta say something real quick before I
up?
go. I'm fucking with Cactus Tea and everything that you're doing, baby.
Thanks. My mixtape's coming soon.
Cactus Tea mixtape coming soon.
Yep.
Joe Rogan N-word situation. By the end of the week. When is this dropping?
Probably Friday.
Okay, so by next Friday, you gonna be Donald Trump.
Wow.
Cause I'm gonna write this headline. I'm gonna doctor this headline. Blip, blop, blip, bloop, blip, bloop, blip. I'm gonna go.
They're very fine people.
I'm gonna find all the other stuff you did for some sub assets. I got you. Now I fuck with you big time.
All right, appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Can we show some love to our family at Hardin? Man, shout out to Hardin, man. Look, if you're in Vegas, you got to pull up. You got to say, take me to Hardin right now. I need to go to Hardin. They're going to take you. They're going to get you situated. Hardin, Las Vegas, the best cannabis dispensary I've ever walked into in my life. The most craziest selection of premium cannabis in the entire world. I mean, that place smells like God's sweat. It just smells so good in there. It's just, they got their own scent. They're our family too, man. So make sure you follow them online, Hardin_Las Vegas, all right? Shoot them a follow on Instagram. Also go to HardinLasVegas.com. And when you're in Vegas, make sure you pull up to Hardin, baby.